What's going on, everybody? I heard I didn't come in enthusiastic enough, so I guess I need to come in here a lot more enthusiastic and be way more animated. And how's everybody doing today? And how was your week? Marcus, you're up. How are you doing?
I like the game show vibes. I like that. Let's keep that energy going. Keep that up. I like where we are as a group. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here, ready to stream.
I feel it. Corey, how are you?
I'm doing really well. Yeah,
Is that it?
I'm doing good. I'm doing well. I'm feeling good, mentally, physically, emotionally. I feel like I'm out of the fog, out of the funk, because it's been a hell of a year. Let me just say that.
You're feeling very phase 6.
Yeah. My birthday's coming up soon in about a month. Turning 29. I don't know if anyone knows that reference, but yeah.
Is that Bridesmaids?
No, New Girl.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have guessed that.
Yeah, it's a good one. You guys should check it out.
Chill? How's Canada?
Not chill at all. This is the Kevin Feige hat. We have an extravaganza thanks to these leaks that we're going to be reporting on here today on Planet Fanatics Pantheon.
Why is the Planet Fanatics in front of it? Why is it not just the Pantheon?
Because we're on the channel Planet Fanatics.
Yeah. There are some things. Going on in Marvel news that I do definitely want to talk about. There's the Russo brothers, the stuff of them coming back, if that is true. And then this is not coming just from My Time to Shine. Hello, this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter. So this is a credible trade. The slate for SDCC, I do believe a lot of it, none of it is coming from Marvel themselves, obviously. So this is all theorized and kind of people speculation. But we'll get into that. And then, Chill, I guess we'll talk about the Acolyte finale as well.
I guess we kind of have to, yeah.
We'll talk about that as well. I haven't talked with you guys since the shooting. Do we want to bring that up?
I'm okay with it.
Okay, we can bring that up. And I think we were talking Emmy nominees.
Yeah, there's a list. I will go through the animated one because that's the only one I care about.
Okay. So let's start off here with the Emmy. Chill's got the stage.
You should have told me that, so I'd have it prepared.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Emmy list. So some of the animated shows that we've been enjoying, right? X-Men 97 have made the list. They are. I can't do this. Discuss amongst yourself. Everyone, look at Corey's shirt.
What?
Oh yeah.
How did we automatically just get to my shirt? I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but I try to wear a Marvel themed shirt with every live. How do we automatically?
Oh shit! No. Oh shit! No.
Somebody fucking up. You're supposed to be taking their attention away.
Right. Slacking.
Did you guys see this? Or go ahead, Chill, if you're.
Start saying what's up to people in the chat.
Yeah.
Noel Gonzalez. I see that name often. What's going on? Anthony. Best Film Fan. What up? Xavier Phoenix. Tony Robinson. What up, dog?
Saying Beto, appreciate you being here. Reese, Professor Film Fan. Andre.
Hello.
For those of you that are watching and not in the chat, we appreciate you guys watching as well. If you haven't liked this, go ahead and hit that like button. And share this link, share this stream so we can get more people in here. We over here for Planet Fanatics, the day after Deadpool this coming Thursday, we will be seeing it. Then the night of, we will be live. I don't know if I'm going to do spoiler talk or if it's going to be non-spoiler. I think it's going to be non-spoiler. I don't know. I don't know how you really have that conversation non-spoiler though, but we're going to do that. And then believe Sunday is SDCC. So we should be live for that as well. Of course, The Crown is nominated. The Crown is the shit.
For best drama series, yeah. Would any of the... Go ahead.
The Crown. I don't think I've watched that one.
The Crown is great.
Is that about the Queen? About the British Queen?
Yes,
No.
the royal family. I'm just a big biopic type of person. Like
Okay.
I love like the Kennedys is probably one of my favorite biopics. It was a mini series, but that was dope. That was dope.
Wow, you know, whatever swings your boat. Whatever
My
floats your
favorite
boat.
president. He was definitely my
Not my favorite president.
yeah, he was my favorite.
Okay, would any Marvel or Star Wars show apply, or DC show be a drama?
No.
But they could get a Best Actress, and nobody's nominated for anything we like. Best Actor. Oh, Donald Glover.
I think they were really trying with that Acolyte thing there. I think they were really reaching for one there with the Acolyte.
Maybe they qualify for 2025. You'll see.
Yeah, next season.
Donald Glover. He got Mr. and Mrs. Smith from Prime Video.
Was
Best
that one
supporting
good?
actress, female actor, is a list of people we don't really know. And best supporting actor in a drama series.
A lot of the morning show. Damn.
Morning shows on there a lot. Yeah.
Apple TV.
Apple TV again quietly putting out some of the dopest content that I don't think anybody's watching, or at least they're not very loud about watching it.
I've heard they put out some pretty good
There's
stuff.
one
That
show-
Monarch series that they had coming off of all the Godzilla stuff. I heard some pretty good acclaim. Were you going to say, Corey?
There's one that's like a drama comedy and it has Jason Segel in it.
Okay.
And
Seagal.
Palm Royale.
Right. And,
Nah, Siegel, the dude from Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Is that what you're talking
right,
about?
yeah.
Yeah, Siegel.
And he
I thought it was
stars in
Seagal.
And
You mean like the karate dude? What's his name? Steven Seagal?
Yeah.
No, hell no. Are they
Yeah.
related?
I
Shut
don't
up.
think
I don't
so.
think so. I
I'm
don't
about
think
to say, don't blow up my brain right now.
Go ahead, Corey. I'm sorry.
But no, you're good. The guy from Forgetting Sarah Marshall or
Okay.
How I Met Your Mother.
Got you.
He stars in it and he plays a therapist. And the shit is low-key kind of good. It's not actually it's not low-key. It is very good, but it's actually low-key kind of funny. And it also has what's his name? Brain freeze because the TH
Grab it. It's right there. Grab it.
right there.
I agree with Zane Beto though. I think Fallout series
I can't think of it.
grab something.
I'm
That
not
was easily one of the best shows we've seen this season.
Best
I have not
comedy
watched
series.
it.
Oh, you need to watch that for sure.
I watch Abbott Elementary. Oh, I hate when it does
Abbott
that.
Elementary is so good.
Yeah, I'm rooting for that. But if the Bear wins, also that's cool.
Yeah, the Bear's probably gonna do some damage too. I'm working my way through season 2 of the Bear right now.
Best limited or anthology series. Now hold on a minute. Echo was a limited series. All right, in January. Where's its
None of
nomination?
that shit's gonna be on there.
I'm about to say, what you looking for right now?
Right.
What the
Man,
fuck?
where's Waldo?
You know, not
Is House
just
of the Dragon on here?
Oh, no, they were
For
off.
season 1. Yeah, it was a hiatus. This season would have been the
Mhm.
season of their hiatus.
But there's no other Max shows though. Isn't that something? Like Netflix and FX and Apple TV keep reoccurring.
I was surprised not to see Night Country, 4th season of True Detective, maybe.
Okay. Best actor in limited or anthology, best actress limited. When are we gonna go to Robert Downey
there it
did
is,
the
Night Country.
Sympathizer?
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet, but I did see the previews for it. Trailers.
Same. I did see the trailers. I haven't watched it
And I
yet.
just saw Night Country. I spoke it up. I think it was the same category. Another series that I see popping up on here a lot. FX's Shogun. What a show!
Yeah, Shogun.
What
That's right.
a show!
That's right.
Shogun.
Shogun had a very good showing. Everybody was talking about Shogun.
Been hearing things about a season 2. They said no at first.
This says Will Smith for Slow Horses on Apple TV. Did he really write a drama? That's a common name. It could be another Will Smith, can it?
Could be another Will Smith.
Impressive. Impressive if it is the real Will Smith. Best writing for limited or
Keep
anthology
winning.
series. Who wins the best writing doesn't really matter unless you're actually a star on the show. So if Quinta Brunson gets it, whoop-de-doo. And if one of these guys gets it, we'll only read about it again like 6 years from now when they're writing something that we're interested in.
Something that we care about.
Best talk series: The Daily Show, Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, or Stephen Colbert.
Can I say that how trash it is that Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, and Seth Meyers can all win an Emmy for their talk shows, but Desmond Howard or Kirk Herbstreit or Lee goddamn Corso, because they work in sports and not celebrity trash, that they have to fake their names to try to get Emmys. That they have to apply under aliases of other people in the company so that they can try to win Emmys, because sports announcers are not allowed to win Emmys for some reason or another. But Jimmy goddamn Kimmel, the late night king, quote unquote, since Leno and the other greats retired, that's what we got to deal with. I feel like there's something wrong with that. Why do entertainment guys get to take home their Emmys, but the sports announcers can't? If you do college football, you can never take home an Emmy, even if you do it for 100 goddamn years, like Lee Corso or Lou Holtz.
But don't Inside the NBA always win Emmys? How do they get it?
Who they have him bunched with in the Best Talk series, he's an automatic shoe-in to win. Not to say that I don't dislike any of the. I think I like Stephen Colbert.
I think they're all very fine. If those are your faves, don't let me dissuade you. But I think that when Inside the NBA wins, I think the show wins. I don't think the individual host win. Like, I don't think Shaq has an Emmy for Inside. I don't think Ernie Johnson has an Emmy for Inside the NBA with his name on it.
But the production wins.
The production wins. But with Jimmy Kimmel got an Emmy with his name on it.
Right.
Jimmy.
And let's get to the competitive. Where is it? Oh, the reason I came here was for
a damn Emmy.
The reason I came here was for the X-Men, and I don't see it. Maybe I skipped over it, but no, I don't see X-Men 97. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought they were nominated.
Yeah, I saw it on Discussing Film.
Animated series, maybe?
Animated series?
Actress, actor in a drama.
No, there's no animated. Not on this list.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Damn.
X-Men 97 is eligible. I hope that it wins the Emmy, and every reason for Bo DeMeo to be rehired. Maybe use a pen name or something. We don't know why they let go.
Yeah, we still don't know, and I guess if
they're not bringing that brother back.
Yeah.
They're not bringing that brother back. They've already was that an official announcement on who's doing the third season, or was that just a scoop? I don't remember.
I thought it was Insider or one of those guys. Insider.
We read it from a trade. So because it came from the trades. It was
okay. Okay, yeah. So that came from the trade. So no, brother's not coming back. He's done. He's going to continue to post those gym selfies and everything else on Twitter, but it won't be anything about 97.
Hopefully, since the scrutiny, I think is going to be a little bit high on I can't remember his name. Guy that's coming over. From, he did What If, and then he was on Love and Thunder, I believe, as well.
Yikes!
But the scrutiny is going to be high on him to try to stay true to. I think we talked about this last week. A lot of the a lot of the social type of traits, a lot of the characters that Bo DeMeo played into heavily. And because of that scrutiny, maybe he will just revert back to his most common book look form, just to kind of like flatten it out and be like, look, I'm going straight back to comic books with everybody. I'm not doing, the stuff that Bo was doing, but I'm not going to take us too far out of what he was doing canonically. Like, I'll just stay true to what was happening in the story and kind of leave all the rest of the stuff as what it was, because that's not me. And hopefully that gets us back to, some true stories. A Bishop story where he's actually, around to participate, and something that actually resembles a Sunspot that I know.
Mm-hmm. Good luck with that. I think Gambit is getting a lot of story. I think a lot of attention is going to go to the Apocalypse character. I already see it not going well for him. People are complaining Wolverine didn't get enough, so Wolverine is going to have an up of screen time.
Well, my hope, at least with Bishop, is how do you tell a story about time travel and not include Bishop?
That part.
How do you do that? How do we get away with this continuously? How are we telling time travel stories without the time traveler?
It's the third time
they said because we're giving you cable.
Oh, well,
you get cable.
Okay. You get cable.
You get cable, and you get Bishop coming in at the end. Yeah.
Goddamn body slide.
That's what they do. That's how they do it.
As much as we would hope that he would possibly just stick to what's in the comics, I don't think he is.
I think they're going to try too hard.
He doesn't really have an X-Men background, so I'm thinking maybe he just falls back. Well, I'm expecting him to do something that no other Marvel creators seem to do.
I was about to say that happened.
I'm hoping like just fall back on, some literature, fall back on the books when all else fails. Yeah,
you would think. Yeah, but I don't. I'm sorry to be that person.
Because this series, because X-Men 97 was so well received, and because it has prompted them to now want to do an animated film, it has prompted them to want to do all these animated avenues now. I think they're going to try too hard to repeat, or if not, sustain the success of season 1. I think they are going to really try to dig deep into that Bo mentality that he had in writing 1 and 2, and I think they're going to fumble majorly in trying to copy him. And I could be wrong. Maybe they don't try to copy him. Maybe What If takes his own route, and if he does take his own route, then I don't see that being successful either, because you started something. You started something that was how many episodes? 10?
Yeah,
I believe you started something that was 10 episodes. That was 10 weeks, and only 1 week out of those 10 weeks was really a filler, and that was the Mojo episode. So you had, Then you got all these weeks of just everybody getting online, and you couldn't even get online and without being spoiled. You couldn't get online without trying to navigate through X-Men 97 on Twitter. There hasn't been anything Marvel has done since Endgame outside of No Way Home, and I really don't count that because that's in a lane of its own when it comes to projects after Endgame. Outside of that, there hasn't been a time where fans have been online like, "Oh, this is great," and theorizing and da 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 da. 97 did that, so I think if you don't either sustain that or bring that type of magic back in, the conversation ain't Emmys. They ain't gonna be talking about, oh, it's nominated for Emmys. It's going to be what for real. What did he do?
I wonder what they revised, right? Because they said Homeboy came in and they revised some things in Bo DeMaio's writing of season 2. I wonder if that means like they literally like scrapped it and just went in and did something different.
I think that's what it means.
Or if they just made some subtle tweaks. I feel like they fired him, obviously, right? So they're not flirting even with bringing him back. So that's not an option. But season 1 was so successful for them. It's like, how much do you actually want to stir that drink? Even if that guy isn't coming back, you got one more season of his work to ride on until you really got to start making sizable changes. So why not kick that can down the road is what happens logically up here. But I know a lot of times what happened logically up here doesn't make sense to everyone else.
I'm sorry. What happens logically up here? And
I'm sorry. Who are you right now? Are you Kevin or Chill? I'm so confused. Your wardrobe is confusing me.
Yeah, I was just trying to segue into this news that Kevin Feige, the guy you're insulting, he's going to be honored with the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. check it out. Thursday, July 25th. Be there at 11 a.m. Pacific.
Oh, he bought that one.
Kevin's got a big weekend that week. He's got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He's got Deadpool. He's got SDCC. Got a big weekend.
Ooh, go Kevin. Yeah, no, I mean, he's put in a lot of work in the industry. I guess he deserves it. Anyways, back to his current work.
Yeah, exactly. The current work is kind of like, if this happened in 2020, absolutely.
Sure.
I mean, lockdowns aside, if this happened in 2020, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not now.
Timing isn't great. No, it's not. It's not great.
Noel says Black Panther 3. What are you smoking, sir?
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We are gonna get to that.
You want to knock out the Acolyte? Because I can do it in 5 minutes.
Yes, we can knock out the Acolyte. Go ahead. I'll let you begin.
It did suck. There was no confirmation that this was gonna repair itself. There was nothing to wait for. The cameos were useless and kind of upsetting that it was that they involved these characters in the show. It's not canon to me. Thankfully, I didn't watch the show. So, and I just kind of saw what happened on Twitter. I'm happy for it. Season 2 is 180 million again.
Oh my God. It is so bad. The show is so terrible. Nothing makes sense. May falls out. Look, first, I'm going to save you. I'm going to spare anyone who hasn't seen it in this chat. The unfortunate experience of viewing the finale of the Acolyte and just tell you all the
any of the Acolyte.
Oh my God. She falls out of space. First of all, she falls through an asteroid cloud at warp speed, which I didn't know was possible in a cruiser. That would have came in handy a few times. But then she falls out of space, dead sticked, and somehow not a scratch, not a fucking broken finger, not a chipped nail, not anything. Just gets up and walks away. Also, did you guys know that you can break a lightsaber by throwing it at a sharp rock? You can just toss that shit and the crystal inside of it will crack. Did you know that? You can just throw it at a rock and it'll shatter. And did you know
that doesn't make sense at all to me? Because I think Kenobi's lightsaber fell from like a great height, remember?
No. This was special force-driven rock. You understand? The force is stronger on Karate, whatever the planet was.
It wasn't
the Force super planet.
Okay.
Whatever that shit was, the rocks are stronger. They're powered by the Force. So that was able to crack the crystal inside of the lightsaber, which is supposed to be specially crafted, which gives you whatever beam of light that comes out of it. But actually, Osha is so powerful that she can just bleed into it another color. Like in real time, she can not only repair the crystal that was just cracked by the super powerful force rock, she can repair it, but then change it to another fucking color.
Yeah, they don't care.
Boom. They don't care about shit. Don't. We don't even have to talk about Plagueis or the Yoda back of the head. We don't have to talk about any of that. We don't have to talk about how they've totally flipped the dynamic of what is Star Wars in general. Good, bad, light, dark, balance in the Force, Jedi good, Sith bad. We don't have to talk about the fact that they totally flipped that on its head because none of this shit makes sense. None of it makes any sense. There's a politician walking around in the halls talking about, we heard about some dead Jedi. How do you know about that? How do you know? And the High Council doesn't know.
Here's my question. Since now we're involving the High Council in this, how the fuck is Yoda around? And I already know Yoda, which we know Yoda's around during the High Republic era, but how is he around meditating in the same meditation room that he is in episode 3? Or let's go to episode 2 when he hears Anakin slaughtering sand people.
Not just the men, but the women.
But the children. Murdering all them damn Jedi here. The Yoda just
they can't sense it. I'm the logic behind the show. I think one of the major things outside of just the plot and the story being shit was the acting. The acting from everyone involved. I hated it. I know everybody was trying to give props to dude from Squid Games at the beginning too. Sorry, nope. Hated it. The acting.
You learned English for the role, though.
I get it. Oh, I love that, and I really do. I do.
I wanted to protect you.
Yeah, I think Amandala's acting, Jesus.
she's been better in a lot of other projects. She's been acting for a while. She's so much better than what she put out in this show.
Because
Like
what she delivered
really
in this
disappointing.
was shit. Every time either one of them, there was no difference in Osha and May. You know, you didn't know.
Well,
Like
but Darius, there was no difference because they're the same person.
Oh God.
That's why we can have the same face from two characters in every scene of the show.
It was also the fact of how easy it was for either one of them to just switch teams at any fucking moment. 1 minute May's good. I don't even know the difference between the names. I guess May's the good one or Osha's the good. I don't know. But 1 minute May's bad, then Osha's good. Then she's like, oh no, I'm actually, I want to kill all the Jedi. Oh, better yet, I gotta
turn myself in. And the minute I see the Jedi, I'm gonna invade with every muscle in my body.
It's just crazy, man. Like the acting, even from the Green Master of Benestra, just her acting was shit.
No. The only reason why she's in this show is
I know.
Leslie Headland's wife.
Yes, it's Leslie Headland's wife.
We're using Star Wars for them to have their personal moments unraveling in the dialogue of the show is utterly disrespectful to the audience. You telling poop jokes in canon Star Wars content? Be gone. You are exiled for 100 years. Don't come back. You and your clan, stay over there.
And it was really, really, truly bad. Then like the whole Kung Fu Panda slow-mo thing they did. You see a lot
like Zack Snyder?
Yeah, I was like, what in the fuck is this shit? I was like, why is this? I was like, oh, that's where the 180 million went right there. So the whole show, just awful. I will never revisit that show. I think honestly, and I'm not even exaggerating, I think I spent more time laughing, especially when she bled the crystal out of fucking nowhere. I think I spent more time laughing than anything that episode. More than anything, and when she choked Soul, I was like, "This is a comedy."
The Jedi Master, right? The Jedi Master lets the girl who's never actually trained in the Force because they wouldn't let you,
right?
Chokes you to death.
How do you know how to do that?
It just happens. She's that powerful. She's the actual chosen one, split in two. That's the power of one, power of two, power of many.
And that's what Plagueis was taking his notes from. Thanks a lot, Osha and May.
Right, yeah. You know who the actual,
When did all this get so complicated?
be.
It's not. None of this is canon, so it doesn't matter.
No, it is. No. This is it. This is the real deal, Holyfield. There is.
No.
Plagueis was creeping in the caves at like, I think Star Wars theory said he had to be like 15 years old or some shit like that, right? So he creeping in the corners, right? Then he said, oh my God, Ocean May. Oh, that's how you make a Force, baby.
It's crazy.
You'll find Palpatine. And that's the start of it, right? So really, Leslie Headland is defining the core history of not just the Force, but of the greatest Sith ever. Isn't that great?
And why the fuck they allowed Leslie Headland? This is the first time we've ever seen Plagueis live action, and you allowed it to be in the Acolyte with Leslie Headland. But you know what? You remember, and this is the last. I'm done. I'm because I have nothing else to give or say about this. But when they were doing the promotion for the Acolyte, they said the same thing about Last Jedi. They were like, this is one of the best things we've ever done. We are so proud of this. They were saying the same thing about the Acolyte. So it seems like anytime that they're really proud of something over at Lucasfilm, it's red flag. Be worried as a fan. Yeah. Be worried. Be worried. So I have nothing else to give to Acolyte. I have nothing else to say. This show's just, it's awful. I'll never revisit it.
I think she has... Here's my theory. It's my working theory, right? She's got some embarrassing photos of Iger on not Epstein, on Weinstein's boat or something.
Something.
Some women that were not supposed to be there or what have you. Some people that wasn't supposed to be there. And that's how she got $200 million to make this trash. Where did it even go? Where did it go? They shot the entire show on 2 planets.
It wasn't in that chase scene, that space chase scene last night. It sure as fuck wasn't in that.
Maybe they shot most of the show in the volume. They had to have. They were
They had to.
on site for some of the water shots, the mountain shots. That probably got expensive. But they were either on Coruscant or the crazy Force Witch planet. The entire show.
The entire show.
They went 2 places.
The entire show.
In a far off galaxy, far, far away. We went to 2
Force
planets for 8 episodes.
Then you had all these. Never mind. I don't care. The Jedi. Yeah, just I don't.
Yeah, oh no, the Jedi are extra fucked. They're basically the CIA. They're Hoover's CIA out here stomping out civil rights leaders because they doing weird shit in caves. Like literally, that's what they turned them into. A corrupt group of old bald head green lady, obviously slave whipped her old Padawan and turned him into a Sith. See, it's really the Jedi that birthed the Sith. It's their fault Anakin happened. See.
And you have a whip lightsaber, and
A whip.
you bring
A whip.
it out.
A whip. That's what we doing. It's 2024. We whipping our Padawans.
Don't worry, it's not canon. It's just like Star Wars Visions and their whips.
Oh God.
Right.
You
Now,
have
when
that.
the Ray movie references this, you remember this time.
Oh, I won't
Yeah.
be there.
Spaceballs is going to be happening again. And that's going to be rebooted, and yeah, they'll probably.
Oh, I want them to shit all over Disney Star Wars. I want them to drag Disney Star Wars to hell with them.
It'll make more than Solo.
Oh, it absolutely will make more than Solo.
Okay, thank you. Because Stamina said my mic doesn't sound good. I was waiting for somebody to confirm that.
Next topic, 50 Cent. You see everybody this past week, thanks to a Trump, there's been a song that's been circulating, and there's a certain lyric in the song, this part here.
It's 100 years. I'm like Paulie and Goodfellas. You can call me the Don.
You can call me the Don. And you think that I'm the only guy who noticed that? No. Let's look at the comment section. Every one of these comments is recent. It says, you know exactly why you're here. This is Trump right now. Trump is banging this song right now. This became the most unlikely Republican anthem in 2024. It really did, didn't it?
Lord have mercy.
And look at the fist. Look at the color. This is America's
The white
anthem.
fist is crazy.
Yeah, it
That's
doesn't hit the
wild.
same. Donald Trump will walk out in
Feels
his next
aggressive.
rally. It's great. Everyone's noticing it. You can call me the Don. You know why I'm here,
God left America under a 50 Cent video is egregious.
right?
Ah,
I thought this was funny and worth bringing up, and a good way to introduce the next topic. Does anyone have? So, who's on the staged opinion? I think that Donald Trump did this for political sympathy, and then that's why Joe Biden says I'm sick right now, right? If you're really an old guy and you don't want people to think of you as old, don't let people know you have COVID and that you're sick. Keep that on the hush hush.
Yeah, I mean, Trump tried to hide it and it got out when he got COVID, but that was also at the height of the pandemic. I do absolutely think that they could have handled that a little bit quieter, and they're trying to garner some sympathy because of what's happening on the other side. Honestly, man, you can probably only believe about 10% of what you see on the news anyways.
that part.
And so,
Less than that, really.
if it doesn't feel right to you, maybe just stick with that gut feeling until everything plays out. It's just kind of where I feel about it. I can't make heads or tails of it. I'm not going to tell you anything
will.
definitive because I'm not a
definitively. And when they all piled up on him, that's when he got
It
his
just
ear
looked
pierced.
weird, right? The whole setup looked weird. The way he got hit, the way the gunshots came out, the way that the shooter was able to line him up. I mean, directly head on. Let's shoot pumpkins for fun is what my homeboy was doing from the top of that store. And now all of a sudden, I have never in my life heard the word incompetence used in the same sentence as the Secret Service
Pause.
ever. There's an echo. Yeah, somebody got the YouTube on or something. What we got? What we got?
We know it was you. How's he still gonna go here? He's not a fart. Like, you don't know who
Hey,
he is.
bro. Hey, bro. I just turned it down, kept it going.
It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, the way that he was able to line them up, the way that he gets hit, and it's almost like he got something in his hand when he going up here, and then it come back down, and then whatever in his hand, it was gone. The ear was too perfect, but then again, they got my boy's shooting record, so he only shot one time at a range and got kicked out because he was shooting too wild. So it's not like we're dealing with some marksman. But then again, I'm not looking at this, this kid, other than the fact that they've set him up to be a perfect school shooter type in how they're describing him now. That is not my idea of a president assassinator. You know what I mean? It just, something about it doesn't sit right with me. None of this feels right. Him throwing up the Brahma Bull, walking out to the limo seems fucking crazy. If you're a Secret Service agent, why is this man not on the ground and then being drugged and thrown? I shouldn't have seen his face again. I shouldn't have seen his face. He's towering over the 3 women he got around him. So now, if there is a second shooter, it's just okay. That's easy. That was easy. Everything about it feels off. Secret Service,
everything, and everybody. People, I got told, black folks need to stop thinking everything is funny and fake and a conspiracy. But my thing with it is,
with the American flag just like perfectly behind it.
I mean, but if you watch some of the videos, that have come out after it, analyzing the situation, like some of the people in the background that were recording, and not affected, not ducking or anything, but sitting recording the situation, people were saying, well, people died and but do we know that people died? I mean, they're saying people died. You don't know that anybody died, though. Just like this shooter, how do we know who this person? How do we know that? How do we know who, what, when, where paid off or what to play what role in this whole scenario? These could all be people that were talked to, pre-planned to, you be here in this moment, you be here, you're going to be our shooter, Don's going to go down, come up with and we got him. Because I'm telling you, this right here, in my opinion, I said it after I saw it, to me, this solidified him winning this election. Because he's made himself the martyr. He already had ignorant attention. And now he's really got people saying, "Oh yeah, that's my president. My president been shot and got stupid shit." You know
what's interesting about that, Darius, is as I had the same thought. Right. First of all, that lady is at least 4 to 5 inches shorter than him. How can she protect him? How can she cover him? This is insanity. Anyways,
perfect height. If she's just a little bit taller, this photo has her head block his face,
block his ear. So. The interesting thing is that he hasn't seen a polling bump yet. And if you don't see it in the immediate aftermath of somebody shooting you at a rally, when are you going to see the effects of it? It's not going to happen 6 months from now. It's not going to happen, 3.5 months from now when we actually vote. So
I can tell you why. He's going to lose because there's going to be low enthusiasm for Joe Biden, not because there's going to be new voters going Trump. It'll just be, I could sit this one at home.
So he was saying Trump's going to lose or Biden's going to lose?
Biden is going to lose that way. Trump is going to win this.
Voting for him.
Yes, I know there's a lot of people who are going to go third party, fourth party, and electoral college. All you need is Ohio. Is your guys' state a battleground?
We're red at the moment.
You guys are Ohio, but are Oklahomans?
Oklahoma's red. No. No.
But sometimes your Congress could be blue, right? Like in the big cities.
Our governor is the reddest of red. Stitt's awful. I don't know. I don't know if Fallon was worse or him, but he's awful.
I think they're all about the same kind of no do-gooding people. So it is what it is. I mean, there's some special red, like what's his name in Florida, DeSantis. And the
desanctimonious. That's what Trump called him, desanctimonious.
Did he put out a statement or anything? Did he say anything, or is it like, nah, I'm not gonna say a single thing about this shooting?
Probably no. Not. Oh no, but he will. He's I've been shot, and I overcame.
Yeah,
the American people rally behind me. I was the best to ever do it. No one's ever been shot like me. No one in the history of being shot has been shot like me. I was the best ever.
He already did all of that. They had the RNC last night.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch. I saw him sleep.
I mean, honestly, I I said this from the jump. I feel like when election year comes around, everything is cheaper. Gas is cheaper, groceries, because it's election year. If anything, gas is doubled / tripled.
I'm gonna say everything more expensive around here.
Like groceries have tripled. Like they've been knowing who was going to be in office, and if it's not them as a someone in that building, someone in that building already knew. I think this was staged. I think this was completely
let's
staged.
okay.
Like,
So let me talk to the the 3 U.S. residents for a second. Not to exclude you, Chill, but I need a lived experience kind of take for a moment. And this is not to I did not mean you had to delete yourself from the screen. And this is not to sway anybody towards, you know, any sort of political ideology. Honestly,
oh yeah,
I'm coming to the realization that there is no such thing, right? Like it's not real. It's stuff to keep us busy while they go do their stuff in the back.
right.
None of it amounts to anything at the end of the day because they don't live by those principles. But just thinking. I do think that there was probably a little bit of a dip in quality of life from Obama to Trump. I think that had a little bit more to do with, you know, the overall economy, than just who the president was, and a whole lot of other things, not just the money, but a lot of other things. From Trump to Biden to what we're facing in June with those two same choices again. Do y'all feel like there's been a whole lot of deviation? Like, did you feel like, oh my God, Biden got in there and man, everything changed? Or oh shit, if we just get Trump back in here this next time, man, shit is really gonna go up. We about to get some stimmies or some shit back. Like, do you feel like there's really any difference at this point?
No,
I didn't
that's
feel a
like there
difference in
has
the presidency at all.
Yeah.
There was no difference in the economy. There was no difference in
at all.
It's been about the same.
At all. And the crazy part is like at the end of the day, we can sit here and be like, oh, the president. But if we go back to our early, you know, social study days, the president is not the only person, let alone the person or council or legislator that makes these laws and like, you know what I mean? Like makes these laws and regulations. So I just think it's even crazy to me that a president only has 4 years when we have people in Congress, Senate, who have been here probably longer than I've been alive.
Oh, for sure.
And the fact that we're in 2024 and these are our only two main options.
Oh, Biden and Trump ain't the only ones keeling over. Everybody that forgot about Mitch McConnell.
That's what I was going to bring up, Mitch McConnell.
But
no, the whole, you know, it's
the fact that these are our.
I think one of my biggest issues, and I'm not going to go down a political hole here, but one of my biggest issues with Trump's campaign, well, both the campaigns, both of them, you know, you got Trump trying to buy the black vote, but this is every election. Every president does this, you know. Our mere existence matters. I mean, just the black dollar. We've talked about how mighty the black dollar is. We've talked about how mighty the black vote is. Just, again, the black existence. But you got Biden talking about some, you know, I can tell you a black job, the vice president. Like, I'm sure in their quiet corners, they were all thinking, oh, that's going to kill him. Oh, yeah, you know, make sure you really emphasize that, Joe. You know, and then you got Trump visiting all these barbershops and churches and all this kind of stuff like that. But then my issue with it is not like it's new. Every president does this. My issue with it is you've got Trump, who was president in 2020, and we saw how 2020 was. We saw the back, like, you know, the whole Black Lives Matter movement, not just toward the black community, but how he was treating the Native American community, the Chinese community, the Hispanic community, women, all of these different communities, and people, how quick people have forgotten 2020. I feel like just from social media, people are like, oh, I'm riding with Trump. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. What you don't understand is Trump is not riding with you, the people. And I'm not saying Trump, because not like Trump's going meeting door to door, shaking hands with all these people. The people that are enforcing his campaign are not supporting you. I like it's just wild to me, especially from the black community. I saw somebody the other day say, you know, well, I know what he's done and said about, you know, to our community, blah, 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 but he's got my vote. He's the only other. No, I'm sorry. No. An America under Trump again, I don't know what that looks like. We saw bits of it in 2020, but this is different now. He's been president once, and now all of his followers which they got the feeling in 2020, but really now have the feeling like, well, my president can do it. So let me do it. You know, if he's being a bigot, I'm going to be a bigot. I'm telling you, we saw it in 2020. It's going to be a repeat. It's going to be a repeat.
It's unfortunate the guy that, you know, supposed to stop him very likely has Parkinson's, according to, you know, doctors that they are now allowing to go on CNN and say that live on air, that the president of the United States likely has Parkinson's, has a degenerative brain disease. It's just it's kind of an impossible situation. But then you turn it around and you're like, oh well, I don't want to elect a fascist tyrant back into the White House. I don't want that guy and all of his religious fanatics back in the White House. I see you religious fanatics from the right, and I raise you a religious Zionist, that of Joe Biden and all his crew. And not just that, not just, you know, what's going on in Palestine, but we can turn to cozying up to Saudi Arabia. We can turn to the silence on what's going on the entire west coast of Africa.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of fascism actively going on right here, right now, under this regime. And I'm really starting to think, well, if homeboy been asleep at the wheel this long, he can't formulate his sentences. Who exactly is running the show? Who's making these foreign policy decisions? You know what I'm saying?
No.
Trump.
No, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Okay.
No.
Wait, he said that when though? That was a while ago.
2020.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was. I remember
you
that.
already know who's making the decisions. Like, and everyone's like, oh, but like we can have Kamala as the first black, and I'm like, y'all are not seeing the point. Y'all are not seeing.
I don't know if she's a strong enough candidate. I feel like they would have already made that move if she was primed and ready to go.
No.
Oh yeah, that's why. Thank you, Agent Black. But I mean, and I saw the other comments too, Agent Black. I'm not checking for Kamala. What I'm not checking. We've said before, not all skin folk is kinfolk, and she's just not. She's not. She's black when it suits her to be black. When it fits her agenda and it elevates her, whatever she's doing at that moment. Like when she was dancing with the black kids in the hallway and all that shit. Or when she did the thing for BET, they not like us. Bitch, you're not like us. so I'm telling you, no, Kamala, no.
Hey, did you know she was Montel Jordan's side piece once upon a time? That is crazy.
I did not.
That is insanity. No,
Corey, you didn't see that? Corey said, what? She's going to find a clip.
Yeah, she did it. Montel Jordan back in the day.
That's crazy.
My problem with Kamala is that she gave up too much leverage, right? I think she Manellaed herself out to be a presidential candidate, right? To cozy up to Joe Biden. Number one, her and the rest of the crowd were beating Joe Biden's head in that primary back in 2019. Anyways, how we got to a point where she was cowering down, pledging her delegates to him will only be a story in Obama's book one day, I guess. But she gave
convenient black
leverage, right? Like the whole, I'm not going to do anything just for black people. No, that made her very attractive to the white political establishment, the centrist in the party, right? But what it did was it disaffected her towards black folks. I think it's very telling that black people have not coalesced to push Kamala to the forefront because, as you know, I think Chill and Darius both expressed the black vote is something of Darius is something of note, right? It's something that you have to have, at least from the Democratic angle. You don't have to do as much from the Republican side, but from the Democratic angle, you really have to work to solidify that vote. Any real fracture in that kind of loyalty could lead to disaster for you, not just at the head of the ticket, but down ballot for like Corey says, Senate races and judges and all kind of stuff, right? So if they are, oh man, got to take me all the way down to my all the way back to my point. What were we talking about? With with Kamala, if she hadn't had disaffected her home crowd, or at least what was supposed to be her home crowd, right? Pledged AKA, went to a black college, was effectively the black token of the.
She is an AKA, ain't she?
She is an AKA. She's an AKA. They got to wear that. But
Thanks.
if
It's
she hadn't
Cheetos.
given that up so easily, if she hadn't abandoned it so quickly, it would really be paying dividends for her now, because it's very easy for her to come back to the community and be like, hey, listen, look, everybody can see what's going on. My man's just asleep. Let's get loud about this and let him know that we ain't coming out to the polls unless I'm heading the ticket. It's a much more powerful stick to wave, because even if they take Biden off the ticket, who we going with? Who you going with?
They would have to go with her. They would have to go with her.
At this later date, you'd have to go with her, and nobody has confidence in her. So now we got to move the damn sleeping bag out there to try to fight Trump and see what happens. It's just.
And did you see the video he posted on his social media, Truth Social, of him at the golf course? Somebody was recording him. He said, Kamala is an idiot. Joe is this and this and that. It went from Truth Social to being posted everywhere else. But nobody.
He shouldn't have called her idiot. He should have called her a groupie.
Back then.
Hey, one of my no, is that his daughter? Yeah, Kamala Harris. Yeah. Remember the name.
Oh shit! I have never seen that. That is too funny to me.
Yeah, man. That was her. What she look? 30 maybe?
Yeah.
She looks the same.
Early 30s. Yes, she does. Her face held up well.
Because they feed on the souls of children.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. All right. Do we want to shift it? Was there anything else? Was there anything else outside of that? We talked. I don't think so.
We're good to go. Walk of Fame. We did it all.
All right. So let's jump into some of the Marvel news. We'll jump into that one. So obviously SDCC is coming up the weekend of Deadpool, and this is going to be Marvel's first time at Hall H in 2 years. Marvel has not been at Hall H in 2 years, and the last time that they were there, it was a kind of lackluster. It wasn't something that we were, all ripping and raving about. So this is going to be a pretty interesting SDCC, because as I said before, when Q and I were talking about it, I think they have to drop Jaws. I think it's especially with what was Phase 4 and Phase 5. They have to come out here and be like, okay, we've seen, because there's no way you can't address it. There's no way you come on stage and you don't address the Kang situation. You don't address the Blade situation. You don't address Phase 4. You don't address all those things. But while addressing those, also still showing why, and why you still are Marvel Studios, why we as the fans should still be, rallying behind you, ready for some of these other projects and whatever. And I think, could be wrong, this is me being optimistic, I think that they are going to drop Jaws. I think, they have some, with some of the things that we've heard too, some leaks, rumors, speculations, this is going to be quite the showing for Marvel. And if this is the showing that they really want it to be, and that can really get fans somewhat reinvigorated for the MCU and for the future of the MCU, then I think the future could be bright for them on the silver screen. I don't know what about the Disney Plus stuff, but this is all silver screen stuff. So I think that it could be really bright for them. I saw somebody ask, is Spider-Man do we think Spider-Man is going to be announced no, I don't. That's a Sony thing. And I think Sony's not going to, it's not going to happen at SDCC.
Yeah, they do it at CinemaCon usually, the Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah. But I guess we can start here with let me see. So this is coming from Rejected Scooper, but they said that Avengers 5 will be announced and we'll have a new writer. So we know that Avengers 5, Michael Waldron is no longer writing Avengers 5. It was taken off, I think, sometime last week. Or maybe, well, we heard it, but sometime heard the news last week, but he could have been taken off a long time ago, like the Blade writers. So he's no longer writing Avengers 5. And Avengers 5 newly, and we can kind of throw this in here with this conversation, is being looked at to being directed, and I believe written, well, not written by the Russos, but written by Marcus, and I don't know if both of them, Marcus and Feely, I don't know if both of them are wanting both of them back, but they are definitely wanting the Russos. The Russos already made a pitch to Marvel for Avengers 5 or whatever project it is that they're trying to do. So they would definitely be directing, and I think that is one of the things there would be Avengers 5. So do you think at SDCC you have the Russos come out, or you announce the Russos, or you and then announce what Avengers 5 is with the title and everything like that?
It's the Russos, and Marcus and McFeely are attached. And think about this. Michael Waldron, the guy I'm going to use for my Star Wars movie, you know, I got him doing Loki and I got him doing Multiverse of Madness. Look at how they dropped him. Look at the cold businessman. Kevin said,
but he is still attached to Secret Wars.
For now. But if Marcus and McFeely are doing that with the Russos, they'll probably do Secret Wars with the Russos.
Exactly. Why would they not do Secret Wars? Right.
That's what I'm hoping. God, that's what I'm hoping. That's all I've been asking. I feel like I haven't asked for much, but Secret Wars, Russo brothers. Like, I just feel like that's the only way it's gonna be right.
Yeah, no, the with the Russos, I think, you know, you have the Russos back. For me, this was always the only way, in my opinion. When the Russos are on screen, or when the Russos have Marvel with, you know, on screen with Marvel, they thrive. Anything outside of Marvel the Russos have done, it hasn't gotten the attention, or it's gotten somewhat more negative attention than anything. I know that the film they did, Cherry, with Tom Holland, wasn't that well received. But anytime that they have done a Marvel project, Endgame, Civil War, Infinity War, Winter Soldier, all great. And if you are putting them, if we're to believe the rumors that we heard a couple weeks or a month or so ago, that this is now turning into an ensemble film where you're going to have 60 plus Marvel characters in this multiversal Avengers film, whatever it's going to be, what better directors and writers to handle that many characters outside of Marcus McFeely and the Russos? We saw how well they handled out. When they had in Civil War, the characters they had in Civil War, those were the best, in my opinion, iterations of those characters. That was the best iteration of T'Challa. That was the best iteration of Carol in Endgame, and the best iteration of Spider-Man and things like that. Like, they know these characters, and then they have expressed time and time and time again that they would love to get their hands on the X-Men. So you've got all this going on. If you've got Marcus McFeely, you got the Russos coming back, this could be boom, we're back.
To Dan, none of us are saying that it's a boring and safe choice, but whatever fans are doing that, they need to shut up.
It's not a boring or safe choice. Here's my issue. I think Russos for Secret Wars is a slam dunk. I think that's an easy choice. I think Russos on the very next Avengers projects that are coming out, which is not going to be Secret Wars, is a little bit more complicated. You are asking them, to put Mac on a pig now. It's not just makeup. It's really, really good makeup. It's Mac. You know what I'm saying? It's the shit that they sit down and put on your face at the mall. It's fancy stuff. But it's still on a pig. We are still left. Avengers 5. Let's just start there. Forget Thunderbolts, X-Men, Black Panther 3, Blade, everything else on that left side. Let's start at Avengers 5. Who are the Avengers?
Well, if this is supposed to be a 60 plus character film, are we just speaking who are the Avengers in our current
Avengers 5?
Avengers 5 is supposed to be that 60 plus character. It has turned in. It was originally going to be grounded. They changed it. It was supposed to be
the very next Avengers film we see. Basically, is going to be the beginning of Secret Wars. Nobody sees an issue with that. You think we can step into a Russo's led film pretty much tomorrow, right? With the very next Avengers film, and we're set. We're ready to go.
We gotta see Thunderbolts. I know how stupid that sounds.
You
I
know,
understand.
you're the one telling
Well,
us.
there are other. I think there would be others coming out before Avengers 5. I believe Doctor Strange 3 would come out before Avengers 5, and I believe it is supposed to have major implications for the film.
I think my meaning is that we are going to be left with the roster that we pretty much know exists today.
Right.
I don't think. Maybe you got Blade. If X-Men comes out before, when is this supposed to come out? Let me ask that. When is Avengers 5?
We'll see the slate.
Right.
We'll see exactly when.
Tentatively, it was at 2025. That's definitely going to get pushed back.
Pushed back, right? So we're
But
we don't have enough room for Doctor Strange, Blade, X-Men, Black Panther 3. We don't have enough time for all of that before Avengers 5. So if we're going to fast track Avengers 5 because we got the Russos on and we got to get them in on their schedule, and we're fast tracking it now to where all of those movies are going to happen post Secret Wars. Now you're doing too much. You're expediting the process when you're not ready for Secret Wars. We are absolutely not ready for it today.
No, they may actually still be filming Avengers 5 next year. Benedict Cumberbatch confirmed that. He was doing I don't know what the fuck this was he was doing, but he was doing this deal where he said, was talking about Doctor Strange and how he loves playing Doctor Strange. He's like, I can't wait to continue filming that or playing that character when we film Avengers next year.
So is Avengers 5 coming before Secret Wars?
But here's my thing. This is where it does get confusing. If Avengers 5 is if that is coming, if they are filming that next year, which I still don't believe that they are, if they are filming that next year, I can't remember. Is Doctor Strange 3 coming out before Secret Wars, or is that supposed to, I think it's before Secret Wars.
Well,
I
time
think
runs out means
that's
right before Secret Wars.
Right. Is it? But this is a fan thing. Is it time runs out, or they actually do? That has been a rumor that the Doctor Strange 3 is supposed to be adapting Time Runs Out. So if they really are adapting Time Runs Out, then I would assume, obviously, before Secret Wars.
I can believe it. It's logical that there will be incursions of all these universes because they talked about it in Doctor Strange 2. So Time Runs Out, which is where the final incursion happens. Time runs out, and then boom, we're in Secret Wars where every universe doesn't exist anymore. Let's fight it out on Battle World.
Right.
And who's responsible for bringing them all to Battle World, or is just the incursions? Like, how do we get from all their random incursions happening to Battle World? Wasn't Doom behind the whole Battle World thing?
He is.
So how are we, unless we're just not going to do that?
Well, and this is not on this list or anything like this, but at one point in time, and I don't want to make it sound like it was a long time ago because it wasn't, but Alex over at the Cosmic Circus, they have been talking about how we might get a Battle World type of film where they explain it or something like that, either a film or a special or something that ties Battle World or introduces Battle World. But Battle World as we know it, just from leaks and rumors, again, none of this stuff is from Marvel Studios themselves, is supposed to be, where's Eliath?
The Void.
The Void. Because everything gets, and this is supposed to be, and again, I don't know, this is leaks and rumors. This is supposed to be explored in Deadpool. This is why we're going to be seeing some of those, not spoiling anything, but some of those extra cameos in the Void, because that's where everything gets sent and pruned. And when it goes to the Void, you've got all these different characters. What better place, again, rumor, leaks, we don't know if this is true, to have Battle World than the Void in the MCU.
I feel like this is sped up. I feel like there was just all with this runway to tell this story correctly, and since they've gone so long without convincing the audience that they're doing things competently, that they can be trusted, that now they have to swing big earlier than they wanted to, and we're going to have to thrust some of these characters that we thought that we were eventually going to start pushing away to the forefront to carry this movie. Secret Wars, what they just did with what Lucasfilm just did with the Acolyte, wasting a Darth Plagueis, wasting a Yoda cameo, wasting all of this Avergence talk and the lightsaber bleeding and all of this old stuff that we're talking about that they said wasn't canon anyways, but they just wanted to throw in there for fanfare. It's wasted. And now it's not even just wasted, it's tainted. The only appearance that you have from some of that stuff on screen for Lucasfilm will now be known only to Leslie Hutland's project. When you look at Star Wars's Wikipedia now, they literally mention Oshinmei. If you look at it, talking about Darth Plagueis.
Oh no.
Like, that's what we're talking about here. Do you really honestly appreciate you, Michael Nemo? Do you
thank
really
you so much.
honestly want them to have time runs out story bleeding into Secret Wars with the cast that we're rolling with now? Like, okay, fine.
Thank you so much,
Blade
Michael.
might sneak in there. Thunderbolts might get in there, but Thunderbolts is not introducing any characters we don't already know. Blade has Mahershala Ali. I don't know what role he plays all that big into Secret Wars, but hey, maybe there'll be some vampires around. Who knows? It's just like, it's not an inspiring cast. Shuri, Sam Wilson, Shang-Chi. We don't know what's going on with Carol Danvers, even though she's the most powerful Avenger that's still around. The neutered Hulk, She-Hulk.
And see, I think this is why they are talking about introducing so many more of these characters. And I think this is also why they've talked about, or not introducing, I'll double back on what I mean in that in just a second. Also introducing Avengers versus X-Men, because if you have Avengers versus X-Men, this now, the multiverse that we've not played in at all, gives you the ability to then go and get a Chris Evans Captain America, a Robert Downey Jr., blah, 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 to build that original OG Avengers versus X. And then you have, if this Avengers film is multiversal with 60 plus characters, I see it would have to be. And I'm not saying that all these 60 plus characters are going to be like, OP characters. It's probably going to be some Mantis types in there, but you're going to have 60 plus characters. Are we entering in and out of the multiverse here? Is this how you're bringing in a better ensemble than just Shuri, She-Hulk, Shang-Chi, and the others? Because the early rumors when it was
short term, that definitely works in the short term. Is how do you because again that it's short term. You're not getting Robert Downey and Chris Evans for another 10 years. So how do you
right short term for sure
hand that off to your younger versions? How do you introduce? Because again, the replacements that you got going into here either have to get wrecked or they have to coincide with the newer versions of the old mainstays. Because there is no version of this where Sam Wilson is still Captain America and they did a good job. There's no version of this where Shuri is still Black Panther at the end of this saga and there's a thumbs up. Like we have to recreate how we handed these torches off, because how we did it in Phase 4 went abysmally wrong.
Yeah.
So you have to fix that. And how are you going to do that when your our focus is on 60 different characters?
One way to
go ahead, Joe.
One way to fix it immediately. I look at Shang-Chi. That did not release in China. It should have. That was supposed to be a huge success. And I think the next time they get a movie out, they'll probably do the paperwork and have an understanding with the government that this movie needs to air there. If not, we're not getting a second Shang-Chi movie.
I think Shang-Chi 2 is announced at SDCC.
That's what I thought.
No, and here's why I think
announced SDCC 2019.
Here's why I say I think Shang-Chi is going to be announced, because you've had Simu Lee, who has been on talk shows, been on social media and all this stuff, talking about soon. I promise you, very, very soon. Even Marvel themselves said soon, we're going to be. So what better place to do it again than SDCC? Because I would assume Shang-Chi 2, well, that's on the list here. It says Shang-Chi 2 logo, date, and potential subtitle of what the film is, what it's going to be like. So I would assume that is still slated to come out before Avengers 5, because when Dustin Daniel Creighton was attached to Avengers 5, thank God he is not any longer. Not to say he's not a great director, he just didn't need to be on Avengers. When he was attached to that and Shang-Chi 2, he had Shang-Chi 2 coming out before Avengers. Now, I don't know if that was a Marvel thing or him thing. Obviously, probably a Marvel thing, but I would assume Shang-Chi 2 is still going to come out before the Avengers 5 film. So I would assume they're going to announce this at SDCC. And if not, what the fuck is Simu Lee doing? What is Shang-Chi doing? Because we haven't seen Shang-Chi since his film.
There's just things on this. If this list is accurate, I just feel like there's things on here that just aren't necessary.
Like which ones?
What's not necessary? The least necessary here would be Thunderbolts, but it's already like filmed and
Scarlet Witch feels like Cap to me. We haven't heard any reports of Elizabeth Olsen.
I'm telling you,
Right.
I strong. I'm gonna throw a hot take in here and say I believe everything on this list.
I mean, Scarlet Witch would line up with Agatha, obviously, right? Because I, for the life of me, don't understand why we're revisiting that. So
not just that, Wonder Man and Vision.
That'll be right. Yeah, Wonder Man and Vision Quest all lead into Scarlet Witch. But it again, until it feels like, and maybe SDC is the place where they do it, where they unveil that she's coming back. It just feels like she's doing other stuff at the moment. It doesn't feel like she's gearing up to give her life back to Marvel.
That part. And
really? Are we talking Elizabeth Olsen?
Yeah, she's been getting a lot of work, and it doesn't really seem like she misses the whole.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead, Corey.
She's very dedicated to the role. No, I was saying like Thor. I don't.
Oh, well, hold on. If you're moving to a different one, let me say this about Scarlet Witch. I strongly believe that Elizabeth, because if you take yourself back to the Multiverse of Madness days, or the WandaVision days, she adores this role. Like she really does. And not only that, she really pays attention to the people online, the fan base, and what they are saying. She knows the comics. She has talked about things that she wants to do in the future with this role. Even during Multiverse of Madness, she was talking about what she wants to do after. She's like, I don't know what Marvel has planned, but this is what I want to do. And I think and then just from a logical standpoint, just not even MCU wise, MCU wise, thinking what they're doing. Why do Agatha? Why do Wonder Man? Why do Vision? If all these spinoffs of this character, if not bring her back? Because it's like even a Young Avengers film. Why? Because the only way to me a Young Avengers film works is if you adapt Children's Crusade. Name a Young Avengers anything that they've done in the comics outside of Children's Crusade where people are like, well, that's the story. Not one. People don't give a fuck about the Young Avengers. Now you add in some key characters like Scarlet Witch and blah blah blah, and like maybe the X-Men, Doctor Doom. I don't know if they're really gonna adapt all that like that. Oh, the Young Avengers get pretty fucking interesting.
I wonder how they are gonna do War of Realms with Thor when there's no Inhumans and Black Bolt's head is exploded because of Scarlet Witch. So who's he gonna be fighting?
Well, remember these are fan-made logos.
It's just going to be 4 or 5. It's just going to be a Thor movie.
A Thor 5, and if we're going off of Love and Thunder, maybe the antagonist is Hercules, and then the antagonist is Hercules. Him and Hercules team up against a bigger, greater antagonist, possibly something like that. I don't know. And then that little girl is with them. Love.
War of Kings is the one you're thinking about with
War of Kings, not War of Realms. Well, didn't that they bled into each other, right? As we started out with that whole saga started with the War of Realms.
No,
or maybe I'm thinking about it.
War of Realms has to do with Malekith, and it was a Thor story in like 2018, 2019. But the one that you're thinking about with Vulcan and how it led from Rise and Fall of Shi'ar Empire to like War of Kings was the finale of it.
Got it.
Yeah, okay. I see my thing when I say who gives a fuck about the Young Avengers. I'm saying this. Are we going to really are we really watching like a okay, let me put it this way. In the state of Marvel right now, when we are talking about not wanting to watch an Echo this or not wanting, I'm not comparing Echo to the Young Avengers, but wanting to watch any of these other shows, are we really going to all out to the theaters? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, when I went and saw the Marvels too, normally when we go to the theater, I think I've said this before, our theaters are packed out. Like our Deadpool is pretty packed out. Like I think there's like maybe 10 seats available in our theater, and then and it'll be full on the day, and it's an IMAX theater. Do you see the Young Avengers packing out? I mean, we're talking about Ms. Marvel. Nobody watched that show outside of, hardcore MCU fans like that. We're talking about Kate Bishop, who was introduced in Hawkeye. No one watched that show. We're talking about Ant-Man's daughter from Quantumania. No one watched that movie. We're talking about Kid Loki, possibly, and then Wiccan and like
Mm-hmm.
who's yeah, and like possibly so. Like, so who's going to the theater and saying 2 for Young Avengers, please?
The name Avengers has cachet, and it will get a solid extra 200 million. But at what cost?
I don't think that this is the good. Now, maybe back in the day that would have worked, but for the in the current state that Marvel is in,
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna have the pull that it used to.
But yeah,
Said
see,
that.
that's my worry about doing so much for Avengers 5 before you have an established Avengers team. I think that's maybe why there's so many. It's starting to make sense to me now. I think that's why there's so many cameos in Sam Wilson's Falcon movie or his Captain America movie, because they have to start establishing the new Avengers team, even if it's only a few of them. So if nothing else, if Bruce Banner and Shuri come in to help Sam Wilson defeat Red Hulk and whatever antagonists there are, that starts to form and establish the new Avengers team. So that the next time you see Sam Wilson with those two, maybe they add another character. And by the time that we get to Secret Wars, they've already been kicking it with Doctor Strange now. And now we got a full-blown team that you halfway care about.
right?
But they have to execute. They have to execute like what is it? Symbol of Truth. What is the name of this movie now?
Brave New World.
Brave New World. It can't flop. It can't flop.
Well, they can't afford for it to flop.
Yeah, you can't. You can't spearhead this Avengers team. First time we're seeing them. You're supposed to be, this is supposed to be the birth of something, and it sucks, right? That's your problem with the whole Kang angle. That's why they could never get over or even get to the point of recasting him, because when you recast him, you still got to fix the whole angle. You still have to adjust the fact that he lost the ants. You know what I mean? You still got to deal with these thousands of variants that was all cheering around in the Coliseum that all look like Jonathan Majors. You got stuff to fix.
Oh yeah,
So
you got shit to fix.
That's why I feel like they're moving away from that, because it's not just it is the characters, right? It is who's going to carry this thing, but it also has to be perfectly executed story. And that's why I get the idea of bringing back the Russos, because they've done it better than anybody else that you've ever had doing it, along with Marcus and McFeely. But are we ready? Like, you can bring in an all-star chef. What is he going to make for you in a crack house?
I think they're more. Okay, so I want to make sure I'm getting this mixed up. I do know for sure. Well, not for sure. Obviously, it's not from Marvel, but there's more credence to them being attached to the Avengers versus X-Men film more than anything.
Yeah.
And if them having the Avengers versus X-Men film, you let them work on that or have them do whatever they're doing with that. I don't know what that leads into, but you've got the X-Men, obviously it'll be the X-Men from which we're speculating right now, just from, again, other things that have come out from this week, that the X-Men that are the original X-Men, Halle Berry and all them, are from Earth 10005. And then whatever universe Monica is in with those X-Men, something is supposed to transpire, and then that is where you'll get the.
Oh, so Monica's not in the Fox X-Men universe right now.
Not that, like not like we
how
thought.
Convoluted can we make this thing? Because the thing I was just getting ready to ask you is, if you take the Fox X-Men universe, like the Fox universe X-Men, to be the Avengers versus X-Men foes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, after that movie, you're not convincing Stewart and McClellan and Jackman and Barry all to sign on for another 10 years. How do you transition that post Secret Wars to your new X-Men lineup if you're going to make them your mainstay X-Men for the time, right? Like, it's an easy Band-Aid fix, but it just complicates things, because now you have to totally recast when you could have done right for this movie. You could be bringing in new characters right now that you don't have to just flip-flop once you resettle the universes.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do this all over again right on the other half of this thing. They are not equipped to spin the wheels like that.
Here's the thing. Kevin Feige worked on those X-Men movies. He has an attachment to them. When you say these aren't our X-Men, he's going, no, I was a part of this production. These are my X-Men, and I'm going to see
No,
them
that's
through and have
fine,
them
but
fight my Avengers.
it can't be the next generation's X-Men. Like
But
we're relying too heavily on nostalgia.
I agree.
And the dangerous
agree.
thing with that is that you will break people's love for it. You throw it out there and it ends up being an inferior product. You can't go back to it. You can't go back to it. You got to leave it alone. They're playing a very dangerous game. They are trying to make a quick fix to a very big problem that they have right now, which has a little bit more to do with culture than it does anything else. But they think we'll slap the Russo brothers on it. We'll get a bunch of big names, and the audience will have no choice but to come back because of nostalgia. That's
it'll
not
work.
That's not the formula.
No,
I don't
it
think
will
that's
work
the
for a
formula.
movie.
I don't think it is.
It will be successful, and all they got to do to explain how there's new X-Men now and new actors and who are younger is a glowy magical thing at the end of the Secret Wars movie.
I'm telling you, are we positive? And the only reason I say this is just simply because of the buzz from this. You guys know I'm always paying attention to all that shit. The buzz from this past week where Ryan Reynolds got up there and was saying, well, the reason there hasn't been another Wolverine is because there's only one person that can do it, that ever needs to do it, and that is Hugh Jackman, which has led to other conversations, which this has been a conversation before, of other people asking, or the rumor of them just continuing on with Hugh after. And I don't like that. And I don't like that because this is supposed to be an X-Men reboot. We're supposed to be getting new this, new that. If we are just going to bring the X-Men in from the Fox universe, and I'm not saying this is what they're doing, but and then have them be the mainstay X-Men, I don't want that. I thought the thing, I thought the thing was you were going to give them, because he did work on the original X-Men films, you were going to give them the proper goodbye, and I thought it was supposed to be a goodbye.
Yeah.
But I don't know, and we definitely needs to be all new. It definitely has to be all new.
I don't think it would make sense to bring old cast back or mix old cast with new cast. And I definitely agree with Marcus because, I mean, we can ask the same question about, how are you going to pass the mantle from your OG Marvel cast to a new Avenger cast to get people excited about Avenger 5, let alone Secret Wars.
And Nick's what I said earlier. I don't believe X-Men will be talked about. They might be mentioned. I don't believe it's going to be a thing. It's like, oh, and by the way, the X-Men film. No, I don't think so. I don't think they're ready.
I think they're going to go strong on Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Well, I'll wait till I say what I got to say till we get there.
Avengers 5. And for some reason, I have a feeling they're really, really going to push this Thunderbolts. Maybe Doctor Strange.
Yes to those, because Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, we're kind of well in development.
Right.
Thunderbolts already filmed. Fantastic Four hasn't filmed yet, but all right, we're there. We know it's coming.
We have a cast. They've been promoting
well, let's go, since we're talking Fantastic Four, we can go there next. Here's what I think they do I think they should do with Fantastic Four. I think you really want to reinvigorate blah, blah, blah. Superman is coming out that same time. Set photos have been out of Corn Sweat in the suit, of Mr. Terrific. Bring them out in the suits. Or something, because bring them out in the suits. Let us see Marvel's first family. Let us see blah 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 blah, and introduce them as Marvel's first family. Have them coming out. Have Pedro and forget her name, holding hands, waving. Like the first family. Like you really dig into it, bro. Like play on that shit. You want to get fans excited and make us. And plus, let me see Pedro in the suit as Mr. Fantastic as well. So yeah, I think
that picture.
Say that again.
Paint me that picture.
I'll paint you a good picture. Kamala Khan or Iman Vellani, she comes on stage, all her family members, everyone loves the Marvel family, and then here come the Fantastic Four. Well, we're Marvel's first family, play it up. All the fans going, yeah, do anything to make it hype.
For sure.
Vanessa Kirby, that's her name.
Vanessa Kirby, yes. Have him come out holding Vanessa Kirby's hand and have Johnny being Johnny, the annoying little brother. And I mean, just play on it. I think that you could really boost it up. Oh, I promise you, a lot of people do.
Delusional ass comment.
Yeah, it's Marvel's first family. You can expect there to be a lot of fanfare around that title.
Between that and
Um,
X-Men, yeah.
Yeah.
so with them being yet another alternate universe kind of thing there, do you think there's any danger in establishing the 616 as the Avengers universe, where no other super teams originated? There are no Inhumans here, there are no X-Men here, there are no Fantastic Four. Like we're just kind of establishing the cinematic 616 as Avenger universe, which is odd because now it feels like for any character that we haven't seen up until this point has to be introduced through those means because no other heroes existed.
You're the one putting that limiter on it. This is the Avengers universe.
I'm not. If you're telling me the Fantastic Four weren't here again, and humans are not canonical, they're not canon anymore here, even though they happen in Agents of Shield. Mutants are from another universe. They're from several different universes,
Yeah.
right? Just
Right.
not here. Fantastic Four is from an alternate universe. This is the Avengers universe.
You're not wrong.
The cinematic 616 is the Avengers universe. So if no other superheroes could have,
There's not an
who aren't
Avengers.
tied to the Avengers team, right? If no other superheroes could have existed here, why am I to believe that there were other heroes that we just don't know about because they haven't chose that route to introduce anybody else in a while? It's been a while since they've introduced a new character that was actually from this universe. Monica Rambeau?
Yeah. The Eternals.
Ah, that's a good one. It doesn't seem like we're going back there, but that was a good point. Eternals is a good one.
Yeah.
That is not on this list.
No, it's not for some reason. I don't see Moon Knight either.
But they said, okay, so Thor 5, they say it's gonna have a new director. And you know, Chris Hemsworth has said many times in order for him to return for Thor, which he's gonna return, but in order for him to return for Thor 5, he wants it to be a lot more serious in tone and this and that. And I find that funny that his tone switched, because you remember before it was, oh, Taika's this and Taika's that, and we love Taika. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that I wasn't on the Taika train too, because Ragnarok's one of my favorite films.
Ragnarok was good. He hadn't turned the laugh meter 2000 yet.
Yeah, but after Love and Thunder, he doesn't need to touch another motherfucking Marvel thing at all.
Do you mean to tell me Chris Hemsworth's contract is up and he'll only resign if the script for the new movie is serious? So he's gonna have some leverage and in control in how the story plays out. At least
is his contract up?
Is his I'm just trying to say that because you just told me Chris Hemsworth will only be back for a serious role, not the jokey thing. That must mean that his contract's up. They're in between contracts, and that's what it's going to take to get him out of his butt.
Right. Well, he says, that's what he says. He says that, he in order for him to come back, things have to be serious in tone. Has to be a shift in this and that. Blah 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 blah. I agree. Right. Love and Thunder was not it. He definitely needs to come back in a. And if you're going to involve the gods in this one, involve the gods. Make them gods, not these prissy little whatever Zeus was doing with his skirt prancing down the stairs, and the gods are not doing it. You got all these dumbass gods, like just not doing shit. A pantheon of God, you got just sitting there talking about like that was and I'm not even trying to get on Love and Thunder, but that was one of my biggest issues. I think this is what Hemsworth is talking about when he says, come back, and one of the things, come back in a more serious tone. You have a pantheon of gods. You have Gore the God Butcher going around butchering gods, and that's not the serious tone of the conversation in that scene. Like the Zeus should have been up there like, okay, we got a serious problem on our hands. We've got gods falling left and right, but no, the scene was more focused on Hemsworth being nude, Zeus prancing down the stairs in a skirt, and Korg making sex jokes about him. It's just not. It was and then the fucking screaming goats. So yeah, it was just not it wasn't. So when he says come back in a more serious tone, it definitely needs to be a Thor that it needs to be the Russo Thor. That end game.
Bale was in that movie, y'all. Christian Bale was in that movie.
Yeah.
He was like, what the hell?
He had to be. I think that's why he had his character be so much of his face. He's like, if I'm gonna be in this shitty ass movie,
But then don't do it.
You gonna see my face.
Bullshit. Sorry, don't do it. Don't do it. If you as an actor cannot better. I'm not putting them on the same level as Bale and what's his name, but who's the actor that plays Voldemort? He understood the fucking role. He knew that.
Oh yeah. No,
I have to be covered because in the lore, this person is covered. This is what they look like. So I'm sorry, Christian Bale, that he wanted us to see that it's Christian Bale, but go play in a different fucking movie. Don't come messing up the lore.
Everyone wants a Marvel check.
Okay, well,
because whether it flops or not, it's gonna be a bag.
No, I kind of like the goats. Get out of here, Raymond.
Right?
Let's take a lap.
We did Avengers 5, Fantastic Four. Okay, Thunderbolts. It's got the little asterisk next to it. I think it is Dark Avengers. Again, just like Young Avengers, I don't want them to use the word Avengers on a movie and like tarnish the brand. But it's gonna result in more money. Like Captain America.
You think they're changing the name?
Yeah, that's why it had the little star asterisk next to it. Like a whole convention ago, they put a star next to it. The Captain America Brave New World thing, that will be evidence. It'll be the first kind of one where we Black Panther 2 counts also. But it's when that's not who the character is supposed to be. You're lying to us with the marketing. That's not Captain America. That's Sam Wilson. That's the Falcon. We'll see if calling it Captain America results in what it's supposed to traditionally, which is $1 billion movie. Civil War made $1.1 billion. Captain America Civil War, okay? We will learn if it works. Can you just slap the label of another person on? And this will be very telling. Thunderbolts, if they change the name to Dark Avengers, well, I expect the same result that we get from Brave New World of, well, it's got the word Avengers on it. We got to look at it. We got to give it a shot. Even though the trailer won't have Iron Man, even though the trailer won't have Hulk in it.
We'll see.
The next one I want to chat is Blade. Are we ready to go there?
Well, I'll say this about
okay.
Thunderbolts. Next to it, it says we're supposed to be getting a trailer. We won't see this trailer because we're not going to be at SDCC unless somebody leaks it. I don't believe Marvel's going to share that trailer. They might.
They already have a trailer. They're that far along.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh
we
yeah.
won't get the trailer because they only do trailers when they're 6 months away from a movie, and they're a year away from the release. We won't get it.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna leak it. Oh yeah, it'll be on Reddit for sure.
Oh yeah, if there is a trailer, it will definitely be leaked. But
yeah, somebody will.
Hey, catch
the
us
idea
next
of
week.
getting a trailer,
it won't get a trailer.
What's up, Omega?
It'll get one of those where like there's screenshots and they talk over it. That's what we'll get. Comment of the week right there. Chillmonger is a smart man. That's right. I want to show you what Simu Liu said on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah. Well, look, it's definitely happening. I should probably leave with that.
Okay, that's good.
There it is.
You're amazing in it. I will say people, whether it's online or in person.
Actually, I should probably leave it there because you know how they could be, right? They can ding us. That was the news story. He's just gonna say thank you to the fans, blah blah blah. But it's definitely happening.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I mean, he's a part of the Avengers now. Was that not the whole point of the end of his film? Him speaking with Hulk, Carol, Wong,
right?
And then him telling him, buckle up. You're now a part of this.
I think at this point, the fact that I feel like we should have been have a 2. Like, I feel like there should have been a second movie especially after, because there was like another movie where the rings were referenced.
No, that was in Ms. Marvel where we thought that there was something similar to the rings that were mentioned.
Well, it was supposed to be with Kang, but since we're talking rings and all that, let's just go to this thing, the announcement with Kang before we go to Blade. There's going to be no Kang announcements. From what we understand, Kang is going to be removed from everything. They are going to remove him in some way, shape, or form from everything, and it's going to be explained. But there will be no Kang mention. I don't even know if they're going to.
What happened to Coleman Domingo? He must have got real confident and started asking for too much. And it was like, we're gonna scrap the whole thing. We're not doing this again.
I don't know. And again, this is rumor. This is not from Marvel. But this is just the rumor that they are just scrapping Kang and moving away from Kang.
That is a huge plot hole. It is a gigantic
That's
plot
so
hole.
stupid. That makes literally no sense. That was the only thing that was tying us to the multiverse.
So
Yeah,
literally, nothing else has gone
Nothing
out of their
else.
way to explain the multiverse other than maybe Doctor Strange.
Maybe.
But that was more of a solo quest than it was a multiversal
For one,
event.
and let's be real, it was really a Scarlet Witch movie
Yeah, for
than
sure.
anything.
For sure.
So it's like,
Are we completely sure Jonathan Majors isn't returning and they just don't want to make the announcement so quickly and so close?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. As much as I would love for Jonathan Majors to come back, I'm
He's
just
not coming
thinking of it from the point of where it's the same conversation I was having about the Young Avengers, where Marvel currently is. In another time, in the Infinity Saga, if something like this were to happen, I believe they could have brought him back. But they have so much ass kissing to do and so much making up to do. You've got misinformation being spread online, where a video of him dancing and a video of him accepting that award, and people are spreading a video with the title saying "The Woman Beater." Didn't he beat up multiple women? So you've got this misinformation, this stigma that's sticking to him now. You've got this all these different stories and fractions and this. I don't think Marvel wants to play that game. I think they're like, we're trying to overcome bullshit. I don't want to play this game.
I mean, and I've said this before, I don't think Jonathan Majors is coming back because and I even hate to bring, I don't hate to bring it up, but I will bring it up. I think it all falls back to the recast of T'Challa. They stuck 10 toes deep in that. They're sticking 10 toes deep in this. To recast him would rebuttal the whole Black Panther. To bring him back would no matter what, Marvel, even though it would be a victory for us, it would be a hit it would not be a victory for Marvel. And like
they take a hit, and for sure.
It's not a no matter
Darius
what.
said, he has that stigma to him now, and Disney/Marvel is not. No.
Listen to yourself. He has that stigma now. These movies aren't supposed to happen for another 3 years. 2 years.
I feel you.
Yeah,
He's doing a movie, Merciless. That'll be his comeback movie. We'll get to see the results of that. They can see what's happening. Oh, he's being accepted? Cool. He was not guilty of intentional assault.
But let's think about this. If they really let's say yes, those are years from now and things like that. They are retitling the man's film. Avengers 5 was his film.
Supposed to be Kang Dynasty was.
Yeah.
They are retitling that. They are saying no. We are moving away from that.
Yeah, they scrapped the whole script.
Moving away from the title of the movie and the dominant
and the plot.
Yeah.
Well, originally, and again, we know these are just leaks and things like that, but originally the leaks were the Council of Kangs was supposed to be the thing introduced in Avengers 5, where you were going to have, that's where the Young Avengers first came up. You got the Young Avengers fighting this version, the main Avengers, a multiversal version of Avengers, all this shit, to where now it's
not happening.
No Kang.
And at SDCC on July 27, I do not expect Jonathan Majors Kang to be referenced, mentioned, or have any involvement in the festivities happening at the end of the month.
What a great way to make all those teams relevant is have a common villain with different variations. Damn.
That's what they were going to do. That's what they were going to do.
Make Young Avengers relevant, because I
didn't say it's not going to, Marcus. I'm saying it won't be announced. It won't be talked about. I didn't
I'm saying it's not going to happen. I'm saying they're not bringing Kang back.
People to know that you're doing that. You want to talk that up because that's like an amazing overreaching narrative. You want to pump that up. If they were going there, they would want to tell people about it, I feel like.
Dan, do you know who I am? I'd rather see Chill put this energy into bringing T'Challa back rather than Kang.
Done and done.
What? Is there a lack of energy I have in T'Challa? Do I got to T'Challa it back up? I can do both.
We're working our way up to Black Panther 3.
Oh yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. If they do, the last thing I'll say on this, if they do bring back Kang, I would be very. I'm telling you, jaw to the floor. I'd be like, wow, what a move from Disney and Marvel.
Man.
But let's do this one. Let's move, because this is right under Kang, Armor Wars. So they say that Armor Wars is getting a new logo. They said that it's going to get a fresh, new looking story because they're trying to bring RDJ in it, and it's going to be this, it's going to be that. Do we think Armor Wars is actually going to be announced?
Don said, "Hey, look, I'm a fucking sue. Y'all get the goddamn movie out, or I swear to God, I'm gonna take y'all to court just like Scarlett." I'm still in the group chat with her. She gave me her lawyer's number. I will sue your ass if y'all don't get this movie out.
But I'm gonna do y'all like y'all did me with the role. You got 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes.
Like Dominique Thorne. Like don't treat me like Ironheart, fam. I've been here.
So no, I believe it's going to get announced that because of those reasons there. You know, this has been announced. Don Cheadle's talked about this publicly. Armor Wars does still line up with where they are with Secret Invasion. We heard that Secret Invasion was supposed to still bleed into that. You know, the Department of Damage Control. Department of Damage Control. You've got Justin Hammer. You've got the rumors of Ultron. And then RDJ in some capacity. And when we say some capacity, I think it would be like how we saw him in Endgame with the hologram, maybe a message or something speaking to AI. I don't know, something speaking to Rhodey in some way. I don't know. But, you know, you've got a lot to deal with because this is now him being picked up. Well, this Rhodey has been in some type in a stasis since we last saw him in Civil War. So now this Rhodey is going to be a completely different story of him trying to find himself, rediscover who he is. I'm sure all those themes, while you know, mourning his best friend, while having to protect his best friend's tech and all this type of stuff. It's supposed to be multiple villains in it for like the ones from the comics, Stilt Man and some others. But these are all just rumors. You know, we know nothing about Armor Wars outside of Don Cheadle is in it, and it was announced in 2019. And it went from a show to a film. So that's the only things we know about Armor Wars. Everything else is strictly rumor.
There's no shot that this comes out in theater. So it's got to be like a Marvel Spotlight movie or, you know.
You don't think it comes out in theaters?
No shot.
I don't think so.
Absolutely.
Really?
I don't think so. I don't think it would be the smart play.
Who do they think they are that they can set these guys, set them on the sidekick track for a decade and then pop them into the leading man role? Like, you've been sitting these guys on the shelf and breaking them out whenever you needed comedic relief or when you needed Chris Evans to have a cool black friend in the movie or whatever. And now we're supposed to view them in this alpha male light when you haven't shown them in that at all. Even at Rhodey's best, he was making jokes. When Rhodey had his most shining moment in an Iron Man movie, saving the president's life in Iron Man 3, he was joking the whole damn time. It was like he was Spider-Man or some fucking shit. Like, why am I now supposed to look at Rhodey like he can carry a film? No, not. This is where we kind of break off from Anthony Mackie. Don Cheadle absolutely can be a leading man. Can Rhodey, the character of Rhodey, be a, you know what I'm saying, be a leading man for an MCU project on a film that you got to go pay $14 for on a Friday night?
No. You know, I don't think it works unless you add in the Ultron, unless you add in Justin Hammer, unless you add in cameo from RDJ. It does not work. You strip all that away and you just have him facing the Department of Damage Control and a few unknown villains. No, it doesn't work. But you pull in Ultron, who we haven't seen and been anticipating and wanting back. You pull in Justin Hammer, who was a big like in the Iron Man 2.
Right.
Then yeah, I can see it working.
Agent says it's going to theaters. I don't believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. When I see a trailer that says that we will see this in theaters, that's when I'll believe it. It's not enough there. Justin Hammer,
Ultron
in a continuation of Secret Invasion. No, absolutely not. No, sir. No, sir. The last film we saw that even was lightly connected to Secret Invasion didn't even reference it, and it absolutely stunk it up the place.
Yeah,
it was in a competition with The Flash for worst superhero movie of all time. So I can't. No, absolutely not. It will not come out on theaters. Hell no.
But that's what. Well, I agree with Raymond there. That's what I'm saying when he said they would have to say that RDJ and Ultron. Yeah, that's if Ultron's in it, it sparks the interest of a few more people.
You think AI Robert Downey Jr. is going to get people to go to the theaters? That may get it some positive buzz. Maybe
that'll get positive buzz. I don't think it's getting asses in the seats.
It would be enough. Internationally, it would be enough if Robert Downey was back.
Just in a cameo, like we're talking like the in-game AI cameo deal.
I don't think so.
If he's going to be bringing up Tony like Tony used to bring up Jarvis, that goes a long way. Because now he's actually an integral part of the movie. He plays a main role. If you're telling me that people are going to break down the doors for a 5-minute clip of Robert Downey Jr., I don't believe that.
Wakanda Forever made $800 million because they used T'Challa, aka they used Chadwick Boseman's likeness. They can do the same with Robert Downey and Iron Man.
I agree, but one of the major differences in that is RDJ is alive and well, walking around wherever the fuck he is. A lot of people went to Wakanda Forever because Chadwick Boseman actually passed and wanted to go.
Death was exploited. Let's just
say that too. And then, like, you can even compare Superman. Now, it's a dying. It was already dead universe in the Snyderverse, but you've got Superman that cameos in Black Adam, and not many people
I'm listening
buying
to Raymond.
tickets.
Raymond is saying this is after Secret Wars. Tony is alive, and that's very believable also. But we probably wouldn't get an announcement right now.
Now that would change everything. That would change everything. If Armor Wars is post Secret Wars and we got a new Tony.
Well, if we got the same Tony, it would be Robert Downey returning playing Tony.
But I don't think he is. Okay. I don't think he would.
Oh, you mean like a living Tony Stark in the show, not an AI? Listen,
a real person. Robert Downey is playing him. Hey, I've rebooted my cells and now I'm alive again.
Well, then that works. It's basically an Iron Man movie. Yeah. That.
But then you have people. That have issues with that. I have issues with that. Because then it diminishes the sacrifice that he made in Endgame.
Should have an issue with that. At least if it's a computer program.
You're going to bring your issues to that movie theater, and you're going to pay for a popcorn, and then you're going to see the movie twice with all your issues. No, you don't have issues anymore.
I mean, as much as I love me some RDJ and I love me some Iron Man, I feel like when it comes to that OG group, like bringing any of them back would just literally defeat the whole purpose of Endgame.
All right.
Well, I believe that our Captain America, our Chris Evans from our universe, is going to be involved in Secret Wars. And you might ask how, because the time travel stuff, there's a purpose of what we saw in Endgame. Seeing him with Mjolnir, seeing him with the stones, him going off on his own. It wasn't. I think we're going to see that particular Cap helping out with the events of Secret Wars.
Here's the thing, y'all. Eventually, we're going to have to work on the business of moving on and seriously replacing these characters. Not stopgaps where their sidekicks are kind of taking on the mantles. We are going to have to deal with the business of giving us mainstay characters that we can depend on for a long period of time.
They're right there. X-Men.
Secret Wars is the perfect opportunity to do that. But again, if you are so heavily dependent on what came prior to get us there, we got to bring back Robert Downey Jr. We got to bring back Chris Evans. What confidence do I have in you that to pass this off? Again, you have had at least 7 years to work something out with X-Men and give us a new team. You've had plenty of time to work out, different versions of these characters that you have coming up in Secret Wars, where you didn't have to have a Sam Wilson Captain America, where you didn't have to have necessarily a She-Hulk, where you didn't necessarily have to have a Shuri Black Panther. There was so much time here where we could have come up with a concept where we get to newer characters. We don't need to go back to
But they
RDJ and
tried.
Chris Evans to stopgap it.
But look, they tried. They failed at making the Eternals a hit. They failed at Shuri as the Black Panther instead. They failed at the replacements. Doctor Strange was doing all right, but and Spider-Man was always all right. But for the most part, they failed, and they're gonna fail with Thunderbolts. Sam Wilson is a failure waiting to happen. Moon Knight failed. I don't think Kamala Khan. If Kamala Khan was anything of a success, the movie Captain Marvel 2, The Marvels, would have made more money.
I think you're misunderstanding me. I'm saying they have this opportunity with Secret Wars to give us a new Captain America Steve Rogers for the next 10 years. You
Right.
have the opportunity to give us a new RDJ for the next 10 years. Start doing that instead of investing your brain power into, oh, how can we use Robert Downey Jr. in the Secret Wars thing? Like, we're going to have to get there eventually. And there's no better opportunity to introduce new mainstay characters than Secret Wars. If you are so heavily focused on, Fox X-Men, and Robert Downey Jr., and Chris Evans, when are we ever going to get to the new guys? There has to be new guys. Because if you think you're going to do this thing in perpetuity without Steve Rogers or Robert Downey Jr. or T'Challa, you're mistaken. Like maybe that's where the disconnect is.
But it's
they
happening.
think the future forward is without those guys, and there's
Wonder
no way,
Man.
shape, or hell that it's going to succeed without them.
They're producing what you were asking for. It's just going to be a failure. Wonder Man is going to fail. Ironheart, Riri Williams, we already know it's going to be a failure. They are doing the new heroes who are supposed to be next up.
I don't mean as in Wonder Man is the new Robert Downey Jr. I mean you need a new Tony Stark. You need a Tony Stark from another universe. You need another version of Tony Stark.
Okay.
You need to get back to the Avengers that work.
Right.
And that's just not Sam Wilson and She-Hulk and Moon Knight.
No.
I understand what you mean. And
you know what I mean? Like, we need to get back to the characters that work. And an easy way for you to get those characters back without shelling out $50 million to Robert Downey Jr. is to recast them. Use the multiversal event that you're getting ready to do to bring in the characters that worked.
Yeah,
Black
we got to
Panther.
focus on the characters and not the actors and actresses that played them.
Like those are Band-Aid. There you go. Good job, Corey. The Robert Downey Jr.'s and the Chris Evans can't lead you into the next decade of films. They just can't. They can't be the reason why Marvel survives, because that puts you you're dead in the water at that point. What are you going to do? They're not getting any younger, and the price is only going to keep going up.
I think y'all hating bad on these other characters, but that's just me.
Until people that feel like you, Liam,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
in the box office,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna keep being right. And, you know,
Well, here's-
we both got opinions, but you know, box office.
I don't think we're hating on them, because I have advocated many, especially during the show, for She-Hulk, the character, not the show, the character. I think She-Hulk is badass, in my opinion. Especially, just there are moments in Marvel Comics where she does some.
Darius, shut up. Let Marcus fight the comment section. He says, "How do we get new characters and new representation if we keep focusing on the past and past characters?" Like the WTF?
Everybody doesn't have to be that way. I'm not saying every character in the Marvel universe has to be that way. The Avengers, though, works best with Captain America, Iron Man, and a lot of the classics, Black Panther. It's just the fact. And on top of that, we don't have Avengers-worthy characters. We don't have a roster that's plentiful enough just to restock this thing every trip. There's no Cyclops in the MCU right now, or excuse me, there's no Storm, there's no Wolverine right now, other than Hugh Jackman. There's no Blue Marvel. Monica Rambeau's off in some other universe. Who else are we not using? That's former. There's no Ares. There's no Hercules. Other than
But do the current roster. Do the current roster. And this is no different than us saying Sam going up against Red Hulk.
Yeah, so you've got Sam Wilson, you got Hulk, you got Shuri, you got Shang-Chi.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor, but he's not a full. He's often dealing with.
That's
Cleo.
right. That's right.
Yeah, he messed
Captain
with
Marvel.
We don't know about Brie Larson. I can't verify that. We don't
Was
know.
she not at the meeting? Are we not
Yeah,
counting everybody that was at the meeting?
Do we know if Brie Larson is actually coming back to be Captain America, or excuse me, Captain Marvel? And even if she is, let me go ahead and give you Brie Larson. Does Brie Larson inspire confidence in another team up film?
It
Oh, no,
literally does not.
Well, this is my point. This is what I'm saying. It's not that I'm hating on these characters. I'm not hating on these characters. I'm
just
saying
trying to speak
these
reality to the
Yeah,
situation.
no, these characters don't put asses in seats at all.
Yeah.
They better. Not only are these characters not putting asses in seats, these characters couldn't even get the asses that were in the seats at their homes to turn on the television for them. Like, people weren't even tuning into their shows on Disney Plus. So why then would I want to go watch this character team up with this character to go fight this villain that no one gives a fuck about? And it's not that we don't care about them because they're shit characters. Marvel themselves has failed to make us care about any of these characters. I don't even care about Monica. I don't care about Monica. Marvel has failed to make me care about Monica.
Right.
And that's your favorite. He's saying that because Photon is his favorite. Like, you read all the comics. He's a big Photon fan.
I love Photon.
Right.
But I don't give a shit about her in the MCU. What has Marvel done to make me care about Monica in the MCU? Nothing. So it's like, no, I'm like these. I don't think I'm. Am I? I think the only one I really care about is Shang-Chi. I don't think I'm attached to any of these.
As soon as they start forming an Avengers team, Monica end up in another universe. Ain't that
Right.
about a bitch?
Right. I was just about to say that. Like, bro.
No, X-Men 97 did not flop. So you cannot say everything on Disney Plus flops. People know what they want. People know what they like. And when people aren't tuning into it, it's because fans aren't fans. It's like Kendrick said to Drake. Hey, Drake, they're not slow. They're not dumb. We're not dumb. We know what we want. And X97 proved that because the numbers were through the roof for 97. The conversation was through the roof for 97. The conversation with She-Hulk, non-existent. The conversation with Ms. Marvel, non-existent. Moon Knight, I'll give you that one because that was a little more edgy for Marvel. That was somewhat. They were trying something different. It still failed.
Yeah,
but they were trying something different. So that it's not. Again, these are numbers. These are facts. These are. You go look at these numbers. These shows did not do good. But you look at X-Men 97, it did well. So you can't say that that Disney Plus shows flop.
Next thing I want to talk about is kind of Captain Marvel related, and it's Blade. So Carol Danvers, we know that she's uninterested, or Brie is uninterested. How dare they do that to her movie where they just said, oh, we're going to make other people part of your movie. We're not even going to make it called Captain Marvel anymore. I can see the same with Blade because of the Midnight Suns rumor, whether that's a TV show, whether that's a movie. They're going to say, you're still getting Blade, but now you're getting the Latino one, and you're going to get this ethnicity superhero, that ethnicity.
Yeah, and then you'll have Dane Whitman, and you get to have Moon Knight,
Ghost Rider from this. Every background's going to be represented. Look at us, we're doing representation, while you're robbing Blade like a lead role, and that is what I see coming.
In his first movie, not a sequel, in his first appearance in the MCU, live on screen. He'll be sharing it with everyone else.
Not a sequel, but that is just the same formula that they did for the other Academy Award winning actress. Oh, but he won too, so he won't even get the sequel.
Okay, I'm going back to this before you go on that. Yes, X97 numbers wise did not do well, just like the others. But when it comes to the conversation online, that is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fandom. The fandom itself. When it comes to conversation, when it comes to people having we're talking about numbers as far as like viewership.
Yeah, what are you referencing? Are we referencing Nielsen?
I think we're talking Nielsen. Are we? I believe that was the only thing we go from.
Ratings real fast, Liam G. Just for context, because I mean you're right. It didn't score very hard on Nielsen ratings, and I can explain to you why. The Nielsen ratings take about in the American television market, it's average about 10% of the viewership. But even that is a big enough sample size to give you general numbers. So I don't want to discredit it in that way. The reason why you can't hold it up to totally represent you and how something's doing on streaming services, especially, is because number one, the success of streaming services is measured and increases to subscribership. And I haven't seen a single Nielsen rating that told me how much subscribers Disney Plus viewed in that or gained in that time frame that X-Men 97 was on TV. So that's number one. Number two, do you know
Yes,
you
it
have
did
to-
translate to viewership.
you have to sign up for Nielsen ratings to be counted? It's not how they were counting TV ratings back in the day. That's not how the Nielsen rating compiles streaming numbers. You have to be signed up to be compiled into the Nielsen counting. Are you signed up for Nielsen counting? Is anybody in this chat?
I'm not.
Anybody here signed up to be counted by Nielsen? Because I'm not. And I don't know anybody who is. So that made me even think further into it. I was like, so not only are you not directly reflecting what's successful for a streaming show, because it's not the same way they measure ratings for a television show. See, on cable television, they can tell you exactly how many homes are watching their show at any given time, right? With the Nielsen ratings, they can only draw data from the people who sign up to have their data drawn. And then number two, they're not telling you how much the streaming platform grew as a result of the show, which is the main way to show whether or not the show was successful.
Thank you to Michael Nemo.
Yes, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much to Michael for that. But to what Dan just said, that right there, LeBron was talking about it. And I know that probably doesn't mean much to anybody, but how often are we seeing athletes tweeting out about Marvel? He tweeted out, where can I, and that, some people were saying, oh, that was publicity for the show or whatever. He tweeted out, where can I watch the original, I think he's talking about the original X-Men 97, because he got into 97. Like, 97, and when I was talking 97, I'm not talking about the viewership on the numbers on Nielsen. I'm talking about the fandom, the conversation, what was going on online. People were having conversations. No one's having conversations about any of these other shows. No one.
In terms of Marvel Studios, X-Men 97 was the most successful thing going for
That is just point blank fucking period.
Probably, I'd say either WandaVision or No Way Home. It kept them in the social conversation longer than any other project that they've had prior to that.
Low-key season 1, maybe.
Yeah, Loki as well, but I don't think that did better. Well, I don't know. It depends. It depends.
Hold on. No. Loki season 1. All these shows we're comparing it to. How expensive were they? What was the budget on X-Men 97? They do not have to make the same amount of viewership to have the same amount of success. They're judged on different scales. The X-Men 97 was a successful show for the conversation it gave, but also its ratings too, even if they were a lot lower than what Ms. Marvel gave.
No, it was, like I said, I mean, you couldn't get online the day after and you hadn't seen it, because it was everywhere.
It was everywhere.
And not just on Twitter. There were people on Facebook that I didn't even know were into Marvel that were talking about X-Men 97. Like it. I was looking for that enthusiasm with Ms. Marvel. I was looking for that enthusiasm with the Marvels. I was looking for that enthusiasm with anything else. It doesn't exist. It exists in small fractions that maybe you're in those conversations and those same people are hype with you, and it makes it look like that hype is large. It's not. It's not. It's not.
He said Ninja Assassin, so I just pulled up the trailer. What the hell is Ninja Assassin?
You have made me proud, my
This?
son.
This was like the comic book? Have you guys seen this movie, 2009?
Mm-mm.
No.
These look like scenes from other movies. That first scene was from a Jet Li movie.
Well, it's called the Ninja Assassin trailer. I don't know what comic book this is from, but
This may be fan made. Go all the way back to the beginning. First couple seconds.
okay.
It may not be real life, but it's real conversations happening from real people.
Without a home, without people to care for you,
So it's fake?
Hold
you
on.
should have died.
Not
But
yet.
instead, you fought. Your entire life has brought
There
you
was the
to
one
this
scene where he
moment.
stabbed the guy that looked off.
Oh, maybe we shouldn't play that on YouTube.
Well,
But we already
Do
saw
not
it.
fail yourself.
We did already see it.
Do not fail your family.
Looks real to me, and they keep
Now
cutting
the
to black.
time
It
has
is
come
fan
for
made.
you to prove. You have made me proud, my son.
Right here, this one. Maybe not. That wasn't Jet Li, so I don't know.
Sorry, I wish I could help you with your super, but I don't know about it. Back to the conversation. Yeah, we spent way too long on arguing. Say that again.
I'm still talking with Liam, I guess. So can you honestly and I hear that, right? You get the same old band of white characters. I'm not saying that every character in Marvel has to be black. Honestly, the fact that we have to depend on Sam Wilson to represent the black characters in the MCU is a travesty as it is. But it's Sam Wilson as Captain America, not even Sam Wilson the Falcon. But for that team specifically, the Avengers, that is all we're talking about here. I'm not saying we can't get Night Thrasher. I'm not saying we can't have T'Challa. I'm not saying we can't have Adam Brashear. I'm just saying for that team right there, for the Avengers, I like it when it's Steve Rogers. It just is what it is. No different than Reed leading the Fantastic Four. Just feels right for that title. Now, do the Avengers have to be the mainstay title of the MCU permanently? No, absolutely not. Again, we've just been sitting on X-Men like they don't exist for close to a decade now. Like we could have been started moving on replacing the Avengers altogether, but since they are still the main title of the MCU and they're the only thing that's guaranteed box office, why screw it up? Why screw it up with lackluster product? Why deteriorate that brand just like Disney has deteriorated all their brands, it seems like?
I think are we done with Blade? Anyone have any last second thoughts on the Blade movie franchise? Like, he's not going to announce anything. I don't expect a single word on Blade. It is penciled in, the last we heard.
You don't think they're going to say anything about Blade? You don't think they're going to address this shit?
November 7th is 2025 is what it's penciled in for. It's literally not happening because filming would have been done. Filming would have been this year. It's not happening. They're still writing a new script. So they say. They're not mentioning it.
I think they having a totally different conversation than what we were talking about. So we should just move on and let them have that out.
Who's that?
Chat's having a little powwow at the moment.
Okay. There's one that says Hugh and Ryan are going to announce that they're returning for the next Avengers film. And then there's the entire.
We get the BP.
Yeah, that's the one we're on now. That is it. That's the last one. So, BP, Black Panther 3. I think it'd be foolish of them to announce a Black Panther 3. And the rumor around this is they're going to announce this, and it's going to be obviously announced with Ryan Coogler at the helm. And he is going to continue on with his story. Now, my problem that I have, this is one I also think that's not going to be on this list. I do not think Black Panther 3 is on this list. I do not think that they are already greenlighting Black Panther 3. Well, I think it's not officially greenlit by Marvel. But if we are to truly believe any of the stuff that Bob Iger has said about, placing importance on certain characters and this and this and that, this would not be the right move for them to. And if it's in line with the leak about Okoye, Nakia, and Suri raising this boy to be a king, I don't know how that's possible, but it's just not. That's not the move. That is not the move. And I don't really know what more can be said about BP3 or the Black Panther franchise or this storyline that hasn't been said.
Recently, a very prominent Black American filmmaker had a real stinker of a movie come out, and the most response that I saw from it online didn't really have to do with the content he creates per se, but the conversation had kind of floated around. Well, he needs more help. He shouldn't be doing it all on his own. He should be spreading his wings and have somebody assist him on some of these stories. And it's like to see people missing the point so cleanly, like just completely missing the point on what is actually happening with my dog, who will not be mentioned. Because there's no point.
We'll mention him, all right.
Oh, we don't have to. We ain't got to bring him
We'll
up.
just keep this up
just
then.
is what it is. Oh yeah. Oh well, there it is. Yeah, divorce in the black. Yeah, #1 on Prime and #1 in your hearts. But anyways, just kind of making excuses for him, right? And that's again kind of what I think about Ryan. I feel like the excuse that he will get will be that, oh, it was grief driven. That's why Black Panther 2 was what it was. You know, it now that he doesn't have to deal with, you know, all that the chat
Bullshit.
It'll be a better movie. It'll be, you know, we'll get something better. And so now the synopsis that we're hearing deals with this already bastard child trying to assume a role that his father supposedly sent him away from because he didn't want him to be involved in it, but not being done by any real father figures because all of the leaders left in Wakanda mostly, for the most part, are women. So now we got this fatherless black child who was bastardized by his father and sent away from the throne purposefully, being raised by the women in his life to get him to the place where he needs to be. I think Ryan should go away and exorcise these demons so that we can stop getting it in his art. Like Kendrick said, I suggest some ayahuasca. Go deep, brother. Go deep, because it's something up in there that ain't sitting right.
That part you said there about, you know, them talking about how Black Panther 2 was grief driven, so this is going to be a different film. Bullshit. And the reason I say bullshit is because they're still, rightfully so, I don't want any, so don't ever come at me about that grief. They can grieve, but do it outside of this franchise. No one is telling you, because they're still grieving. You look at Letitia the other day on The View when she got asked about it. You look at Lupita when she got asked about how she tapped into her role for A Quiet Place, where she got that from, when she was talking about how somber she got. They are still grieving. So you're telling me, I don't care how much time you spend away from this franchise, if you really care about this man the way they've all said they really care, that's my brother, that's my friend, that's this and that's that to me, you spend that much time away from this franchise, the minute you step back into that franchise and you pick back up the story where you left off, you're still in that same grief, which means you're not over it and you need to go. There are people with their parents have passed. They're still grieving, rightfully so. 15, 20 years, rightfully so. But again, if you cannot take that grief and set it aside while you're filming a fictional film, then you don't need to do this. You need to pass the torch. So no, it's not going to be a different film. It's going to be the same grief-driven film, because they're still grieving their friend. Anytime, I promise you, every time they get asked about Black Panther 3, if let's say this gets greenlit, they go on the press tour, every interviewer is going to start out saying, how has this been coming from the Wakanda Forever, burying, you know, symbolically burying Chadwick Boseman, his character, blah, 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 blah. How has this process been? Oh, you know, it's been hard for us, you know. That's our brother, and we you know, we can't see nobody. That's that same shit. All that shit is gonna be the same shit. And if you can't see nobody else in the role, then you know you need a bounce. I can't with it. I'm not being insensitive. Grieve, but don't do it under the Black Panther franchise. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
Coogler
I
returning
don't. Go ahead, Joe.
is confirmation, because he's the guy who said I can't do this franchise with it because T'Challa is Chadwick, they're one or the other. Him returning, to me, confirmation there won't be a T'Challa recast. They'll do T'Child, they'll do I don't know, something else. And damn, like, are they all right? You'll see the box office. That's our vote. That's
Oh,
our
it'll
opportunity.
be, if it was 800 million the last time, it'll be somewhere around 5 in Ant-Man territory this go round for sure.
Yeah.
For
And-
sure. And just to again reiterate, watching your profits fall that way, the same way we talk about Kathleen Kennedy, right? Watching her profits slide every project after project after project, right? And deciding to go with the same type of thought process in the way that you're creating these projects is negligence. And so if we flip that and we apply it to Kevin Feige, it really isn't any different. He hasn't earned the right to just make bad decision after bad decision after bad decision after bad decision, regardless of the reason. Regardless of the reason, he's the leadership. It reflects on him.
Is there anything more in the write-up that you have? Black Panther 3, Ryan Coogler. That's all you have?
That's outside of the little plot thing that they said about this girl's raising him. No, there's nothing else.
No date. We don't know if there's going to be a time skip where they make the boy a little older so that at least he's age of such. Oh, here come critical mass. I don't know. All right, like they're gonna learn the hard way, and I'm the guy who goes, no one should be watching Wakanda Forever. Save your money, don't spend money. Make sure that it's effective. If Wakanda whatever only made $300 million, then they wouldn't do this stupid decision. The recast would probably be the most logical option.
But how does a drop from 1.3 million down to 800 million not scream that to you?
It just wasn't enough. I think if it would have had like an extra 100 million less, then maybe that it would have. But no, it didn't work. It should be enough. It's enough for me and you, but they're kind of stubborn and they don't want to admit it. And we got what we got. We're gonna get a new Black Panther 3 according to this nonsense, and it's not gonna have the Black Panther. They're doing the video game without him. They're doing 1997 without him.
If the Russos are really directing Secret Wars or whatever, I do have more faith in him showing up.
Why?
Now, continuing on, why? Just because they introduced him into the MCU. And when they introduced him into the MCU, they handled him very, very, very well.
They have permission to do so at that point.
That's true. That is true. There is still the parameters of needing permission and this and this and that. When I say I have more hope, I mean, so I have more hope that in their directorial vision, not so much Marvel giving them the green light of saying, oh, putting him in. I feel like they would pencil him in and then they'd be like, pass the draft on. Is this something we can do? I don't feel like they would just leave him out.
A man could hope.
Yeah.
A man could hope.
Yeah. No, but that's it on their list. That is like I said, Black Panther 3.
How old is he even gonna be if they go TJ? He's 5 right now. So we do a little time jump and now he's gonna be 10-year-old boy king. 10-year-old Haitian boy king who nobody wants around.
Can I ask this too? I understand what they've done with M'Baku in the MCU and how him and they're friends and he comes to the aid of Wakanda and things like that when they need it. But this we're talking about the same M'Baku that came during this girl scoffs at tradition and all that stuff and blah blah blah. He's finally sitting on the throne. Why would he just so easily give it up to this child?
Are you asking questions?
I just don't like what. Why would he give this? Why would he give the throne up to this
all right,
child?
let's hit the falls. Let's go hit the falls, player.
Yeah, like what?
Let's go hit them falls. Your daddy did it.
It doesn't make any sense, bro. Like it's crazy. I don't watch. I don't watch John as much as I used to watch John. But
does little TJ have the same corrupted herb running through his body? The one that killed Chadwick Boseman? Are we gonna do this all over again? We're gonna run it back? He gonna die the same way his daddy died? He got the same disease? Gonna do it again? No? Or it's just a once in a generation type of thing. We can only kill the Black Panther with that, and then it disappears forever.
Yeah. That. Mm-hmm.
Yep, that one. Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's sad because there's so much like feedback me, you guys. There's more than just us. Comments. There's John Campia, which I think you were about to bring up.
I was about to bring that up. Yeah, I saw him. I don't watch John as much as I used to, but I saw where he talked about the Black Panther 3 and how, John has been pro recast, and how he just said same things we've all been saying. I don't know how you thought honoring him was saying, let's throw away it. Let's just do this last thing. That's honor. Throw away all the work that's honor. That's not honor, bro. I've said that so many times. Thank you again, Michael Nemo.
Man, I always ragged on Eric Bana's Hulk for a long time. and it's just like you start to appreciate things now. Like Rian Johnson is a god to me now. After seeing what Disney Star Wars has become, Rian Johnson is truly an OG. Like you kind of got to put Rian Johnson up there around in Filoni Favreau era. Because you have to. You got to. Like, can you honestly say that the balance of good and bad from Rian Johnson is not equal to, if not better than that of Favreau and Filoni at this point?
With the Acolyte in the picture, yeah.
It's pretty comparable.
That's why I said the other day on Twitter, perhaps Ray, I judged you too harshly. Because you're not that bad of a character.
She didn't have to be that bad of a character. She ended up being a pretty bad Mary Sue, but she didn't have to be that way.
My comment on Ang Lee's Hulk, right? He sticks out grossly in this image here. Favorite Hulk, I guess this guy sticks out too, right? But
see, Angelique's Hulk wasn't bad. When that film came out, that film was not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that film. I think, when did that come out? 03, 02?
03.
03?
Sounds
yeah.
Like 03. Yeah.
I was in 3rd grade. I remember that shit. Yeah, that was dope. Because I was one of those kids, when I would go see a movie, I would have to imitate it. And you know how this motherfucker was running and jumping mountains and shit? I was outside trying to Yeah, I was one of those kids with a very vivid imagination. I had a Nightwing costume because I was Nightwing for Halloween one year, and we lived on one of the main streets when it was just me and my mom. We lived on one of the main streets, so ambulances that would come by all the time. Anytime I'd hear that ambulance, I go throw on my Nightwing costume, get on my bike, not follow the ambulance all the way, but I was a weird kid, bro. Let's just say that. I was so fucking weird.
We all do things like that when we were kids. Yeah, sure.
I was 14. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
We got another super chat, $4.99. How you say his name?
Reese.
Really? Reese?
Yes, Reese.
I'm not gonna take it out on you. It's your parents' fault. But Reese tells us, "Hi Darius and new hosts. My name is Reese. I love Black Panther and Chadwick. I'm making my own T'Challa video. I'm being T'Challa for Halloween for the 6th year in a row. Is this going to be a YouTube video? If it is, all you got to do is tell us about it. Leave it in a comment or something, because we all read our comments and we'll check it out. We may even highlight it if you want us to."
Yeah, Reese is a regular viewer of mine and has written letters to Marvel for the recasting of T'Challa and different things like that. Has done, I think, a video before. And if he's working on that one, definitely, Reese, whenever you get that, please let me know and I will share it publicly. We got another one there. Critical Mass sent one as well.
Appreciate it, Critical Mass.
BP3 will make no more than 500 million. That's what we said. If they go with this storyline. Also, sensible questions, Marcus, but all sense and story logic was thrown away in Black Panther 2.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Once we had a corrupted herb that took a synthetic herb to fix.
And I'm just looking at all the effort to make Shuri Black Panther. That was what they were gung-ho on. We're going to make her the Black Panther. We don't need T'Challa. And they've been thinking this even before Chadwick's death. We can make her next. She's next up. You guys are just going to undo that? For the bastard?
Yeah.
Why? I guess because she didn't want to inject herself with what's it called? I guess
Oh,
she's
because the
difficult on-
problem is they didn't come out in droves anymore because it wasn't a male Black Panther. That's what it was, bro.
That's what they
We just
need.
need to
That's what
find
they
a
think.
need to find a
That's what they
cousin of a
think.
royal family or something, you know?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what they
that's what it
think.
was.
That's crazy.
When we make his name T'Challa, that's when the fans.
Nah, yeah. We'll just find another boy, slap T'Challa on him, and it'll be great.
It's remarkable how fallen on deaf ears things that I do, and I know I get numbers when I do these things. I know that they hear it, and I provide great reasons. I'm not alone. Everyone else.
It's not just you. There are plenty enough people for them to ascertain what the true situation is. They are in an echo chamber.
Yeah.
If they weren't, they'd be running away from this premise like hell. And I can tell you, it's very clear that they're in an echo chamber because of how they handle these situations in every other iteration. Look how they handled William Hurt. Look how they're handling T'Challa. They're putting Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie, who said no one else can play T'Challa. It's his. He's the guy. He has to play them. Literally, Anthony Mackie in the trailer for his movie making a joke about a recast for a character, for a man who just died. So now get on your soapbox again, Anthony Mackie, and tell me how William Hurt wasn't shit and how he didn't compare to Chadwick Boseman, and that's why no one else can play Chadwick Boseman's character, but any old goddamn body can play William Hurt's. Say that shit. At least then it'll actually make sense.
That part.
Say whatever. They just say what the fuck ever, and then I'm supposed to eat it up like it's actual grief. No, it's not grief. You're an actor. You're an actor. This is your job to deceive. And I couldn't take those words any more seriously than they were actually hitting my ears just because somebody who said they care was saying it.
That part.
We do that up for Anthony. There we go. Andre Ware, $5. He says,
"Thank you, Andre."
Yeah, thank you, Andre. Shuri's still Black Panther. Will she have to fight T'Child at the waterfall, or will the T'Child have to fight M'Baku?
It's madness. It's silliness. Either way you cut it, and Andre Ware, it is absolute madness.
They didn't think none of this shit through.
Because he would have to earn it, right? We would have to show the movie audience about how, the reason I can understand T'Chaka stepping down for T'Challa. I'm sure there was no fight there. Maybe T'Challa fought other people for it. This, you're going to have to take out your aunt. That's just a bizarre
Somebody
picture.
going to have to fight somebody. And T'Child,
Nobody's fighting anybody. Nobody's going to fight anybody. And the reason being is because they're going to do some type of deal where it's going to be traditions in Wakanda have changed due to the Queen Mother's death and probably other deaths in the flooding, the other tribal members that were, older or whatever. We've changed the way things work, and there will no longer be a challenge day.
Are we doing democracy?
Oh, maybe.
We bringing democracy to Wakanda? We going full blown Ta-Nehisi Coates, huh?
Maybe they've already fucked it. They fucked the franchise. Why not just fuck it more?
We going full on JR Voldemort in here, man. I can't get with it. I can't get jiggy with it. Obviously, I won't be attending, but
right. I'm telling you.
Anyone else who feels the same to exercise their dollar accordingly, because there's no way in hell this movie should pass 500 million.
It doesn't get announced next weekend. I'm telling you, Black Panther 3 is not getting announced, and if it does get announced next weekend, the amount of material they've given me for YouTube is crazy because I'm going to bury them. I'm going to bury them.
Good news cycle for us.
Oh yeah.
If they announce Black Panther 3, is going to be a great news cycle.
If they announce this, I'm going to bury them. I'm telling you, bro. That's crazy.
Plentiful view cycle. It's gonna be Christmas.
Please announce it.
And I'm not even going to have to review the movie. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Announce Black Panther 3 this weekend. I'm telling you, you're going to see my YouTube logo light the fuck up. It's going to say Planet Fanatics just went live. I'm telling you. I'll be like, oh, yeah, we got to dissect this shit. So
Nate Moore's turn. Because I saw Dre Mac cover this greatly, and it's amazing if you put this, it's the same interview on the same day with the same outfit, and listen to what he says about William Hurt.
Yes, Raymond, we will be.
General Thaddeus Thunderbolt.
Character being recast here.
Harrison Ford.
Wait a minute, wait, it's skipping. I can't hear it. And I've never heard this. What? What is
Yeah,
this from? He talked about that. He talked about William Hurt.
He was, yeah, and this was on November. This was right after the red carpet of Wakanda Forever. So is the volume high enough? I hope it is. Go.
Being recast here.
Harrison Ford is taking on the role of General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, and to see Sam Wilson and Thunderbolt Ross, which, if you remember, actually threw him in prison at the end of Civil War because he violated the Sokovia Accords. There's going to be some natural sparks there, which I think are going to be
Now,
So there, he's able to properly separate the character from the actor. Sam Wilson's gonna deal with Thunderbolt Ross. There's gonna be sparks.
You see how easy he just floats through it? Like, yeah, man, it's nothing. It's just a character, and we're moving on. And
And if you remember in the previous one, they had so I was going to see some.
Yeah,
This
this
motherfucking tap dancing ass nigga.
But hold on,
I've never
Same
seen
day.
this.
This is the same day now. This is another interview talking about recasting.
and you have the very real conversations of, should we even make a movie?
Right.
Right.
I remember that.
Certainly, in
That
all movies and
conversation
sequels,
never
there's
happened.
been amazing movies that
Facts.
are one and done. And those were conversations that we had. And Disney at no point said you have to make a sequel. They said, we'll do whatever you feel is right. And then you start to think about, and no one can really know, right? But I go, I think Chad would have wanted us to make a sequel because he knew how much Wakanda meant to people.
now also,
wouldn't have wanted
in
you
the
to destroy his
same
character.
Wow.
That is on
Now,
the show. Subscribe to him. He's got 3 reasons why people are still mad about the Thunderbolt Ross recast.
Like, it's gaslighting. The whole thing is gaslighting. It's like,
Mhm.
nah, we had a quick conversation and we felt like we couldn't go back with another T'Challa. We even talked about not doing the movie again. Thunderbolt Ross passes. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, we got Harrison Ford coming in, and it's going to be great, and it's going to be some great sparks in between him and Sam, because he threw him in jail. But I hadn't even remembered that, by the way. That should be a much more awkward interaction. But yeah, it's going to be some real sparks there. The dissonance to be having that conversation in the same interview,
In the same breath.
that you're talking about 2 dead men and replacing their characters.
Wasn't the same interview, but it was the same interview day. It was the when media do the rounds and you're sitting in the same chair.
Doesn't matter. It came out of his mouth. Same mouth.
Oh,
Same
it wasn't the same person asking the question. You mean it was
Yeah.
the same session, not the same person?
The same tap dancing nigga was giving the tap dancing ass answers. I cannot believe I've not seen that. I've not seen that. I've not seen that William Hurt one. I've seen what he said about, we've talked about should we even make a movie. I've seen that bullshit. I hadn't.
You can find that on E-Man's movie reviews for the full interview there.
Wow. That is that's funny. Yeah.
Michael Nemo. I ain't got time for that nonsense.
that is funny. Reese said, no more Ryan and Nate. Wakanda Forever is very bad. It made me mad. I love Chad more than Marvel ever will. I said hi to Kevin Bozeman, and he replied today. Well, that's dope. Yeah. No, I okay. Well,
We shall see.
I did not see that. I'm glad I got to see that because I'm not filming. I'm recording my video for the hypocrisy of the whole, which we've talked about before, but the hypocrisy of the recasting of Thunderbolt Ross and T'Challa. Yeah. So I'm going to use that clip because I did not know about that one. Interesting. So yeah, but that's it.
Look at the gears spinning. Oh, I'm using that video. It's great.
I'm just thinking, man. I'm wow. Yeah,
Let me know
that's
so I
crazy.
can share it right when you release it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Anything else, guys? I mean, that's interesting. All of it.
Yeah, we shall see which one of these rumors actually panned out for us to talk about next week.
So let's just before we get out of here, I want to ask this question. Let's assume they do announce, because I'm already going to be live for SDCC. But let's assume that they announce BP3. Do we do an emergency Pantheon stream?
I will only be back here if they do something Black Panther related.
Okay. If they announce a BP3, come with your gears ready. Come, because come. Let's
I'll
would
call
be
if
interesting.
Marcus comes. Pause.
He'll be here. No, did he? He'll be here.
Oh.
He'll be here. So you guys heard it here. If they do one, we will be here for the Emergency Pantheon stream. Like I said, we are Planet Fanatics itself. We will be live for the other SDCC announcements as well. I think DC is doing their full-out panel too, so nothing Superman's going to be talked about. But if anything interesting is talked about from DC, we'll talk about that too. But other than that, be looking for the video coming out this weekend about the hypocrisy of Marvel and Thunderbolt Ross and T'Challa. From me, anything else from you guys?
Nah, but you know what? I want to redirect you guys to Draymax video, so I'll put it in the live chat. I'll use it under your name, Planet.
Oh yeah, definitely go watch that. I hadn't seen it, so I'm gonna go check it out. Anything coming out from you, Marcus?
Catch us on Sunday for the live stream. Sunday at 5:30.
Sunday 5:30. And like I said, we'll be live.
So just notice I didn't say my name.
That's right. We'll be live next week. Next week's live stream will be here Thursday, and then I will be live. Oh, sorry. No, we won't. Well, they might be here. You two would be here. I would not, because I'm seeing Deadpool Thursday.
Right.
So I will be at Deadpool Thursday and then live after it to talk about the film with Q and Corey. So, but I'll be there for that. So
How about Friday show then?
we can do that if Marcus is.
What are we doing now? What happened?
Instead of Thursday, because he'll be watching Deadpool, let's do the show on Friday.
I probably will be watching Deadpool as well.
Okay.
On Thursday or Friday?
Thursday.
So then you're
Thursday the 26th.
It's the 25th. I'm seeing it the 25th. It comes out the 26th.
Ah, okay, because right now is the 19th for me. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, if I'm seeing it on the 26th, that would be bad. I will let you know tomorrow, sir. I'll let you know tomorrow for sure. So put me down as a maybe.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, as we always say, we appreciate all of you guys being here. Appreciate all the super chats tonight. Very, very generous from everybody. Appreciate all the so much engagement. The viewers that were watching that did not join in the chat, we appreciate you as well. If you are watching this and you want to like this video, that would really help us out. And if you liked what you saw and you're not subscribed, subscribe to all three of our channels. We all talk about some of the exact same things we talked about here on all of our channels. So make sure that you are tuning in, and we appreciate all of you guys. Like, subscribe, and share all the stuff with your friends. And we will see you guys in the next live stream. Peace out.